Okay, we're going to get started. All right. Good evening, everyone, and welcome to Manhattan Community Board 4's September full board meeting. I hope August gave everyone a chance to recharge, and even for those committees who met in August, I see you CLU and BLP. Hopefully you still found a little bit of time for some summer fun. Before we jump into the serious things, and speaking of fun, I did see Pamela Wolf here, and we're going to start off by congratulating Pamela on a milestone birthday. Happy birthday to Pamela, a rock star who's showing us what it means to live gracefully, and yeah. All right. All right, so before we begin this evening, a few reminders. Hybrid policy, MCB4 hybrid meeting policy is posted on our website. Board members are expected to attend meetings in person unless they have a disability or an extraordinary circumstance. Committee members with excused absences and members of the public may still participate virtually. Board members joining via Zoom must keep their cameras on. Tonight's meeting is being streamed live on our YouTube channel, and a transcript is being recorded and archived there for public access. Sign-ups for the public hearing and public session were available, as always, in advance, and paper sign-ups are available in the back of the room until 6:45, just 6 minutes from now. While we encourage advance sign-up, you may still sign up this evening. And to ensure fairness and consistency, especially given the large number of speakers this evening, all comments will be limited to just 1 minute. Now, a word about tonight's agenda. September is usually a lighter lift, not this year. In addition to BLP's business, we will be taking up a new item reflecting the work of both HHS and CLU on the Fulton Elliott Chelsea NYCHA proposal. This is, as you all well know, a challenging and weighty issue, one that has been under discussion among our board for more than 2 years. We have devoted significant time to it, and we have heard from all sides extensively. Because this topic elicits strong views, rightfully so, we're talking about where people lay their heads each night, and because unanimity does not exist, let me be very clear. A respectful environment is not just requested, it is required. Our bylaws mandate that all board affairs be conducted with fairness, decorum, and respect. We expect board members to model this, and we expect the same from all attendees and members of the public. I know folks are upset. I know some may even see this board itself as part of the problem. But yelling, personal insults, casting aspersions, or disruptive or offensive behavior will not be tolerated. Anyone who cannot adhere to these standards will be asked to leave. Additionally, while soapboxing is not in conflict with our bylaws, I want to especially encourage board members to be as clear and constructive as possible in their comments when we get to the board business so that we can work towards consensus as painlessly, productively as possible. With all that in mind, I want to thank everyone for being here tonight. We clearly have a lot of people joining us in person and online. And I want to thank and acknowledge those who reached out in advance to ensure this meeting would be accessible to the public. Guided by the open meetings laws and our own bylaws, we make every effort to keep our meetings open and accessible. We stream them online, we provide translation through Language Line, and when possible, as tonight and our recent town hall, offer simultaneous interpretation. I also want to remind everyone that this board operates with limited staff and limited resources. Everyone around this table, with the exception of our district manager, is a volunteer. We are not elected, nor are we compensated. We take this work seriously because we believe in serving our community. We value the feedback we receive, and we ask that the community in turn recognize the constraints under which we too operate, as well as the commitment that board members bring to this work. With that, we're going to start this evening with our public session. We had noticed that we were going to have a public session on statement of district needs. We had 5 people sign up. I'm sorry, public hearing. I'm sorry, our public hearing. I'm going to let Jesse run through these names.
Hi, everybody. I've got 6 names signed up in advance for the public hearing, which is on the statement of district needs and budget requests. This is our annual process that we do every year. We're going to have a hearing on this full board. We'll have a hearing next full board as the final hearing. I have a feeling, though, all of these people are actually here who signed up are actually here to speak on the public session and maybe for a different topic. So I'm going to list out these names. If they're here in the room, please come on up and you can have a minute to speak. And if not, and you actually signed up in error and you're looking to speak at the public session about a different topic, you can just tell us that out loud. So Louis Bertart, Susan Kenny, Caitlin Cahill, Anna Stromberg, Diana Stewart, and Miriam Fisher. I think unless Miriam Fisher is online, might be here for, and I see 2 hands raised. So I see Renee Kitt's hand. I'm going to bring over Miriam, and I will. Miriam, you with us?
Yes, I am. Can you hear me okay?
Yes, we can. You have a minute.
Okay, it may be in error. I'm trying to get my computer to show video and it isn't doing it for some reason. Here I am. I am definitely speaking about the NYCHA housing issue. If
Okay, so
confirm for that.
Again, Miriam, so again, this is about the statement. This is a public hearing about the statement of district needs for our board.
Okay. So
that's not what this public hearing is about. So if you would like to speak on that issue, I'll put you into the public session, which happens directly after this.
Terrific. I think I signed up for both in error, and my apologies.
No, that's okay. That's fine.
Thank you.
Renee, I know your hand is up, but I want to assume that you're looking to speak on a different topic than our statement of district needs. Renee? Or whoever's using Renee's call in.
That's me, Jackie.
Oh, hi, Jackie. All right. So can I assume you're speaking about a different topic than our statement of district needs? Okay.
Yeah,
thank you.
NYCHA. I don't know why I got Renee's name on
That's
it.
okay.
All right.
All right. Is there anybody else who is here to speak on the statement of district needs? I know I'm not, that's okay. That's okay. I'll ask. All right. So I don't see anybody else. That's all right, Roberta. I'm going to close this hearing.
Thank you. And before we move, as a reminder, all board members are expected to keep their cameras on. Thank you, Pamela. Before we move to the public session, if anyone needs translation, or you see someone next to you who might need translation, who doesn't understand what I'm saying right now, translation services are in the back. In the back. Okay. All right. With that, we'll now turn it to our public session. If you're on Zoom, again, please raise your hand now so we can call on you, and I'll turn it to our first vice chair, Leslie Boghosian Murphy.
Thanks, Jess. Hi, everyone. So Jesse, why don't we do people in the room first that are not NYCHA? I'll try and wade through. You probably just heard me. I know most of the people here are to speak on NYCHA, I'm guessing, and according to the sign-up sheet, but we're going to try and get through the people who are not here on NYCHA, if that's okay, just so we can get the minutes for 1 minute. So I'm going to look here, and if I'm missing anyone, please come up here, and that would be great. You have another? Okay. Let's see, Miss Spooner and Miss Sosa for New York Public Library, it says here, wants to speak on the New York Public Library. Come on up. One minute. Sure. That's okay.
Thank you so much.
Okay.
Thank you. Hey, good evening, everyone. My name is Eric Sosa. I'm the new branch manager for the Muhlenberg Library branch. Thank you. First of all, all you guys and the community board members for just pushing to get our site open again. We had a soft opening August 1st. In 2 weeks, September 19th, we're going to have the big great ribbon cutting opening. You guys are more than welcome to stop by. I just wanted to let you guys know we're back in service. I brought some flyers with me to for you guys so you could go through it and see all the events and programs that we have to offer since we open our doors. And I just want to thank you guys for pushing and getting our doors open again. I'm looking forward to seeing you guys over at our site, and just thank you for everything. Thank you.
Ready?
Yeah.
You're already on deck.
Yes. All right. Good evening. Right. And I'm from Miss, and we've already been open. Yeah. Yeah. Right. So, hi. So my name is Leanna Spooner, and I'm the manager at Columbus Library. Like I said, I'm coming from NYPL, like my colleague. And I just want to speak about some of the programs that we offer. So we have story time, we do movies, we do book clubs, and I have the calendar that you can see all the different programs that we offer. And some of our most exciting programs that I just want to talk about is starting September 29th, we'll have a social worker intern, and she'll be there 5 days a week. And we also have our English class, and we do that every Wednesday, and we do that from 10 a.m. to 12 p.m. And we have our after-school program that's coming back, and that's another one of our popular programs, and that will be there September 29th. And we also have a writing program every second and fourth Saturday. And right? Okay. And we have a horror book club, and we have that every third Saturday. Okay. So I look forward to you guys. Thank you so much.
Thank you. Thank you for coming.
Thank you.
I have here Diane Barrett. And then Rachel, why don't you come up? Because I think you're not NYCHA, right? After that. Hi.
Thank you. Hi, good evening, everybody. My name is Diane Barrett, and I am the Government Relations Director for Gutman Community College. It is great to meet everybody. So thank you all for being here in your service. Just very quickly about Gutman Community College, we are the youngest. We are the baby of the City University of New York. We're located right next to Bryant Park, and we're here really for an invitation. We'd like to meet with Community Board 4 to talk about how some of our students need internships, they need experience. We all know how hard it is to get a job after college. So we're trying to do everything we can to give our students the life skills and the education they need to succeed. So that's why I'm here tonight. If you have any information or you'd like to speak to me, I'll be sitting right over here for a little while. But I want to thank everybody for being here. And again, thank you for your service to our community. It's much appreciated.
Thank you. Rachel. And I think Lisa Wager's here. Lisa, why don't you come up as well?
Thank you. Hi, good evening, everyone. My name is Rachel Lee. Just a quick PSA announcement. If you or someone you know applied for New York City's affordable housing, also known as the Housing Connect, there was a data breach incident reported in July, which exposed applicant information online, such as mailing addresses, phone numbers, and in some cases, social security numbers. The organizations managing the platform and the New York City and Development Department are set to be aware, and they should be taking to remedy this, but reports indicate that there are applicants who were not notified of this incident. And, we had a month-long gap, so they didn't have a chance to share. So please be aware that your information might have been leaked. What this means is there might be unsolicited emails, texts, calls that you should be wary of. Don't share any further information. Update your New York City account, Housing Connect account. Monitor other accounts like banking, credit checks for suspicious activities, and look for any further official communication from the Housing Department or reside in New York for updates or next steps. Thank you very much.
Thank you, Rachel. Yeah.
Hello, I'm Lisa Wager, Director of Government Community Relations at the Fashion Institute of Technology, the SUNY College on West 27th Street with the Residence Hall on 31st, west of 9th in the district. I'm here with an FIT update. Well, our students are back and the campus is humming. Enrollment has inched up. Tuition remains the same, affordable $5,500 for associate and $7,200 for bachelor's degree programs for New York State residents. And yes, that's annual tuition in our nearly 50 programs. FIT students continue to demonstrate their commitment and focus with graduations that exceed SUNY and national averages by a lot. SUNY comprehensive colleges, 57%, national public colleges and universities, 64%, national private colleges and universities, 67%, FIT, 81%. Okay, some more news on what we do well. FIT was recently designated an opportunity college in the Carnegie Classification of Institutions of Higher Education, indicating how well FIT provides access to students from lower socioeconomic status and historically underrepresented backgrounds, and the degree to which these students go on to earn competitive wages in their professional fields. Only 16% of national colleges receive this designation, making this an exceptional recognition for our public college. And next month, I'll tell you about our upcoming exhibition at the museum at FIT. Thank you.
Lisa. Thank you, Lisa. I think that's the people who are speaking non-NYCHA here in the room. If I missed anyone, non-NYCHA, raise your hand so we can have you come up. Nope. Okay, so Jesse, why don't we go online then? One person showed up from the people that signed, right? And I'm guessing it's Linda Karras. Hi. Linda, can you hear me? Oh, thank you. She can. Okay, Linda, can you hear me? We're here live in the room. Linda, can you hear me? No, she came over though, right? She did not. Oh, thank you. Hi, Linda, we see your hand up.
Okay, great. Hi, thanks very much.
Hi, we're going to give you 1 minute, okay?
Yep, I'll talk real fast.
Thank you.
I'm a shareholder and a resident on West 26th Street, and my neighbors and I are very concerned about the negative impact that will happen to our neighborhood if the proposed nightclub bar at 250 West 26th Street is approved. Obviously, we'll be talking to the permits and licensing people next week, but we wanted to let the full board know that we are very concerned and apprehensive about this. Thank you.
Thank you very much, Linda. I think that's it for the people online that are non-NYCHA. So why don't we go back to the room because we have a long list here. So why don't we start off with, and you guys can just line up over here if that's okay. Alexa Cruz, Salinas, and Michelle Spinner.
Yeah, I should have lost weight. It's not working.
I'm Michelle, so.
Okay, that's okay.
Want me to start it off?
Yeah.
Okay.
Start it off.
My name is Michelle Spinner, and I'm speaking on behalf of the London Terrace Tenants Association when I say we urge CB4 to reject NYCHA's current plan for the FEC properties and all of its proposed alternatives with no qualifications. We therefore encourage a vote in support of the letter. CB4 board members should have received our 8-page document delineating 24 strong objections to these proposals, primarily on environmental and financial grounds. So right now, I'm simply going to express our disgust and how dishonestly and shamefully NYCHA, the developers, and especially our electeds have treated and continue to treat the FEC residents and especially the senior residents. They have made a sham show, paid lip service, and cynically checked off HUD requirement boxes, but in truth, they have given no material voice to the FEC residents. And the misinformation, intimidation, and scare tactics perpetrated on the FEC seniors border on elder abuse. The LTTA stands firmly against demolition, but certainly no demolition should ever be considered unless there is a monitored vote by the FEC residents which supports it. Thank you for letting me speak.
Thank you.
Hi, my name is Alexa, and I support Safe Section 9. And I'm disappointed how we have been treated by everyone when we come here for years and we ask for help, and we're getting demolition, and we're getting seniors that are being harassed and threatened that they're going to call the police if they don't sign the lease. And this is illegal to do such a thing, because no one would like that to happen to their family. You shouldn't do it to anybody else, and you should consider the humanity, the human rights that we have, just as you have it. Thank you.
Thank you, Alexa. While Celine's is coming up, Pamela, I have YM Storm and Shirley Cook. Can you please come up? Thanks. Yeah, go around this way because it's a little difficult to, well, it's, yeah. There you go. Selena?
We can't because of Kate.
It's okay. Just come here. Selena, you can't. Okay. Pam, let Selena. Go ahead. Okay. Go ahead.
When the survey was open, Essence kept saying they will do whatever the outcome is. There was no demolition is our only option. They said we would do whatever the residents want. If they want renovations, then they'll get renovations. Now all of a sudden we have a petition. They changed the narrative. And once again, we continue to cradle, pamper, and indulge a global real estate company. They always change their plans to suit their own needs. And now you want to empty out PS 33 because it's disruptive for the students? How much worse will it be for the very people who actually live in the community? Related is already causing hurt now, and you're simplifying Related's path and facilitating a demolition. Just say no and push them away altogether. This is a horrific plan that will cause damage, and anyone who is entertaining this is part of the problem. We already know that Related does not keep promises. This is a 16-year plan minimum. How many more changes will take place along the way? Will you be here for the end results? Will you know who and how we will be affected? Everyone will wipe their hands clean, and Related will continue to cause damage because we allow them. I know that many pro-demolition tenants will have regrets. Related is only looking out for themselves, and you will be chewed out and spit out like tobacco.
Thank you, Selena.
She up yet?
It doesn't matter. It's okay, Pam. Go ahead.
Okay.
You're the birthday girl.
Well, thank you all for those birthday greetings. That was delightful. Thank you. I am just going to read a little quotation here. This is a quote from Village Preservation's Affordable Housing Position Paper. It expresses with clarity just what we all know to be true. We are being manipulated by the real estate big dogs and our elected officials into giving up our precious public land and public housing. It's a sucker's game, and we are the suckers. Once done, there is no going back. The quotation reads, while new market rate housing plays a necessary role in the city, it is not a solution to the affordable crisis. We oppose policies that dramatically increase the production of luxury housing under the pretense of addressing affordability, especially when they threaten neighborhood character, historic landmarks, small businesses, and cultural institutions, violate best practices for environmental sustainability by promoting demolition over adaptive reuse, increasing carbon waste, and squandering embedded energy. Today, I am in full support of the letter as written, and I ask that the board vote for it untouched.
Thank you. Thank you, Pam. Before we get to Ms. Shirley Cook, Marnie Halassa, and Nina Torstuckle, if you guys can come up around this way in preparation, that'd be great.
Very much. Okay. This proposal was presented to us as a done deal. There was no hope otherwise, so choose your location as to where you want to go. Renovation was spoken of loosely, but not likely. Even today, you yourselves can ask HOU, NYCHA, or PAT what's their position, and they will stumble on that question because of the truth. It's only a proposal and nothing more. However, vulnerable, unlearned senior citizens are leaving their homes out of fear of being evicted or having their tenancy terminated altogether. Demolition was always the only option, the wise option, the smart option for the tenants. For me, no, for the higher powers that are responding to the cries of the people by acting as if they, HOU, NYCHA, and PAT, are above the law. No one is above the law. So let's prove that today. Thank you.
Thank you very much. Before we go to Marnie, is Shirley Cook here? Oh, that was you. Okay, then Ms. Storm? Is there or Mr., I'm sorry, YM Storm? No? Okay. Nina? Sure, come on up.
Okay, sure. Yeah. Hey, everyone. I just wanted to say that for me in November, the choice is clear. I'm going to vote for Dominic Romeo because he's against the demolition, against privatization. Oh, you want to come on up?
No.
Oh, no. Okay, okay. So anyways, I'm going to vote for Dominic. Dominic, raise your hand. Yes. And I think the choice is clear. Against the demolition, against privatization. I like his platform. Done. Thank you.
Thank you, Marnie. Nina?
Yes, it's me. Good afternoon. My name is Nina. I come to America from Ukraine. I cannot believe I live in America because all say it's for people, all people, it's very nice place because I see I see opposite. Because it's very hard here and see it's people very, very old and have many problems with health. Why is moving? I cannot understand. What happened? It's America. Thank you, my dear. Thank you very much.
Thank you. Oh, sure. Come up around this way. Lizette Cologne? I know I'm going in order. Thank you. And Mr. Alfredo, if both of you can come up, are you guys, both of you here? Okay. And we have Luis Alfredo. Luis? No? Okay.
That's the only one we inside keep.
Sure. So why don't you talk for her?
I will talk as fast as I can. But I'm talking on behalf of Ms. Story, and she's one of the residents in the 436 building that they want to demolish, and that's the first building, and that's the senior building. And she said that many elderly people have been unable to sleep all night because of this, and their depression has become more and more serious. The quality of life has been affected. The living conditions in the building are the best in the area. Why do you want to demolish it? The building is our safe place. Why do you want to demolish it? They use it for a while after some renovations. I'm trying to figure out what she's putting here. And she's a resident of that building, and she doesn't want you to please consider, don't get us out of the building. That's our home. Thank you.
Okay.
Want to use your 1 minute?
Yes. Just allow the other persons, I will get the connection here.
Why don't we line up over here as we were planning? Let's see. Luis Alfredo, no, he's not here. Francisco Pinero? Sure, come on up this way, Mr. Pinero. Matt Robinson? And Linda Andre. Why don't we start with those three? Lydia. Go around this way. You ready?
So once again, in an ideal world, we will not be here. We will be home. But this is a crazy times that we're living, right? And we have to be different. And I'm asking the community board for it to do the right thing. Do the right thing and hold accountable the elected officials that came here to this community board about 2 meetings ago. And they told all of you and all of us that they were going to respect the vote of the tenants. So Stand for the letter that you are preparing. We are for it as long as you go for it, just like you said, period, and no other alterations. Respect the voices of the tenants and respect the voices of the community of Chelsea. Don't destroy Chelsea and stop privatizing public housing. Thank you.
Thank you, Ms. Colon. Mr. Panera? Yes. Go ahead, you're one.
Hello, I'm Francisco Pinheiro. I've been living there 54 years. I was grown, you say, and I don't want to move to Queens, Bronx, Brooklyn, because that's very bad neighborhoods. I want to stay where I live at. I live with my mother. My dad passed away, and it's the best project in New York City. Fulton and the Chelsea Pride, the best projects in the whole New York City. Thank you.
Yeah. Thank you.
Thank you. My name's Matthew Robinson. I've got an architectural background, and I'm going to talk about the floor plans. One of the things that everyone's talking about is renovation. If you're dealing with renovation, you want to see the floor plans. And there's many floor plans that do exist. So in the very, very beginning, if someone said the floor plans don't exist, they were lying. Okay, they do exist, and they exist in at least 2 locations. So, and also when you see nice shiny renderings of buildings, that's not important. Look at the floor plans. The floor plans will show you the size of the rooms, the locations, the orientation. Also, the original drawings will show you zoning, the door counts, the window counts, and also understanding that this is basically a series of cookie cutter buildings. So, when it comes to renovation and stuff like that, the cost should be relatively low because it's apartment A, B, and C. There's not an X, Y, and Z, if that makes sense. So again, I implore people to say that if you can find floor plans, you should look at them. Thank you.
Thank you very much, Ms. Robinson. Before Lydia comes up, can I ask Jane Buchanan and Dominic Romero to come up as well, please? If you can go around this way, that would be probably helpful.
Hi, Lydia Andre, Chelsea Neighbors Coalition. I want to thank the members of the community board who worked on what I consider to be an excellent letter and who are speaking a little truth, finally giving voice to members of the community who have struggled so long and so hard to be heard. This is not a good plan. And for those of you who believe that there's no other way to get decent, clean, safe apartments in these buildings, it can't be true. The related way cannot be the only way. The privatization cannot be the only way. Remember, Adams won't be mayor. Mark Levine, president. Changes are coming. There will be opportunities to do something better. And we really need to approve this letter as is. And we want everybody to remember there can't just be one way to do this. There's got to be a better way that gives rights to the voices of the NYCHA residents. Thank you.
Right on time. Excuse me. Thanks. Go ahead.
Hi, my name is Dominic Romeo. I'm running as a city council for District 3. So I hope that you guys will vote for me. I am born and raised in Hell's Kitchen. Spent many years hanging out in the Fulton projects. I still have friends there today. Those hallways, their apartments, their lives mean a lot to me. Even today, I still visit some of their parents. I'm also a superintendent, a property manager. So I know when a building is not doing well. I know when a building needs to be torn down. I know when repairs need to be done. There is nothing that I can see from my own eyes and with my own experience that leads me to believe that these buildings need to be condemned. I am for repairs. I'm not for demolishing them. And I also want to thank the community board. I know that we've been rough on you the last couple of weeks, and last August, the moderator was excellent and it got a little rowdy, but sometimes we don't have any other place to yell at but you guys. So forgive us for doing that in advance, but stop with these demolitions and these lobbyists tearing our neighborhood apart. Thank you.
Thank you very much. While Jane is coming up, I'm going to call Tito Delgado. Let me see, Milagros Lugo, if I got that right. Good. And Diana Stewart, if the three of you can come around, that would be wonderful.
Hello, everybody. I'm here as a longtime resident of Chelsea and a previous longtime resident of Hell's Kitchen. And this is kind of personal, but I used to live at a famous building at 57th and 9th called the Windermere, 400 to 406 West 57th Street. And in 1983 to 1985, the landlord said that the building was in imminent danger of collapse. On those grounds, we were vacated. I never returned to my home, and that building is still standing. So that's that story. And I went to many community meetings, and I thought I'd never have to come to another one. And I am feeling for the seniors at NYCHA, and I think it's an indication of the cruelty and the destructiveness of this plan that they are starting with the senior citizens, our most vulnerable population. I urge the board to vote on this letter. Thank you.
Thank you very much. Tito? You okay?
Hello, my name. Okay. Hello, my name is Tito Delgado. I have some experience in being displaced more than once, several times. Urban renewal, displaced 2,400 people on the Lower East Side. The same thing is happening here. It's all about privatization. The private sector will never give us anything. And we all know that. We know this is a land grab. Everyone on this board knows this is a land grab. You know, stand up with the people, stand up with the public. You know, don't give them this. This is wrong. You saw what happened with Hudson Yard. They got millions of dollars taken away from Harlem and subsidies in order to build that damn thing. It's ugly as hell, and it's mostly empty. We cannot vote for this plan. Please vote your conscience, vote with us. Thank you.
Milagros Lugo?
Yes.
Hi, thank you. Thank you, everyone. Thanks for having me. My name is Milagros Lugo. I've been a long-time Chelsea Elliott resident, and we already know time and time again, we're on this microphone saying the same thing nonstop. But what I want to say is privatization and these developers don't care about us. The electors don't care about us. And we demand CB4 to help us and stand with us and save our community. Thank you.
Thank you very much. While Ms. Stewart is coming up, I believe it's Ms. Kwong, Mr. Kwong. I can't read the first name, but the last name is definitely Kwong. And then after that, Riju Chen. They might need a if someone can, yeah. So I'm just guessing. And Jane Rao. If the three of you, if you need assistance, you can tell us, but can come around this way, that'd be great.
Hello, everybody. My name is Diana Stewart. I'm a licensed social worker. I got my license from NYU, and my very first job when I got my license was, guess where? In the NYCHA houses, Elliott Chelsea houses, working for Hudson Guild. That was quite a few years ago. I'm 79 years old now myself. And I can tell you that the people that I knew when I was working there, and I was working as the director of family life services, we had at Single in the buildings, we had kitchens, we had cooking classes, we had sewing programs, and everybody who participated was wonderful to each other. We were like family. And today I feel that this is my extended family, and that is why I am here. I have a daughter who's 44 years old and who's a teacher in the education system in New York, an art teacher. And I have a grandson who's 10 years old, and guess where he goes to school? PS 33, right across from where this explosion, this demolition is supposed to occur. It's not going to limit itself to certain buildings. It'll affect the entire Chelsea area. This is terrifying. How long is it going to take? Oh, only 19 years. Wow. I am here because I love the people. And again, you are my extended family. And I believe we all are in the same boat and we have to fight for each other.
Thank you very much. Thank you. Oh,
you need translation?
Sure.
Okay, my name is Jean Rao. I do not support the demolition. It feels like they are targeting the most vulnerable people. A lot of seniors who don't speak English feel helpless. They cannot speak their mind, and they are afraid of their future. The company ignores our concerns about aged and health issues. We are forced out and start their project as soon as they can, so we will have no more chance to fight back. Now, 6 days, they threat legal action to scare people, every notice in the mail, every meeting, every phone call. They say it to help us understand, but it is all like a long mental torture. We cannot stop worrying about the future. Many of us lose sleep at night. Homes are for living, not for profit. A company that has no respect or empathy for the conditions of senior citizens will not take care of anyone else. Stop the demolition.
Thank you. Thank you. I have 3 more names here: Susan Marshall, Carol Ott, and Christina Ember. If you guys can come around this way. But I am going to go back to Huqing Kwang and Rujan Chen. I just want to make sure because they were here in the room and they did sign up. Okay.
Thank you. I'm Susan Palmer Marshall, President of the Council of Chelsea Block Associations, also known as CCBA. Our community is united in the right to safe, secure housing shaped by a plan that respects Chelsea and a process we can trust. CCBA stands with CB4 in calling for a real independent vote, not just a survey. And if holding a true vote could derail the plan, it shows the plan itself is broken. As President Shepard said in The American President, when a plan is broken, you throw it out and write one that makes sense. I urge you to please vote yes on the letter before you tonight, because this is about protecting our neighbors' homes at Fulton and Elliott Chelsea houses and the soul of Chelsea. Thank you.
Thank you. Carol?
Hi, I'm Carol Ott, the block president of 300 West 20th Street and a member of the Chelsea Neighbors Coalition. I acknowledge CB4's perseverance in listening to the neighborhood concerns about the current NYCHA plan, and I have been deeply disappointed that our elected seem to have totally sided with NYCHA and related and basically ignored the community's concerns about the environmental impact, the impact on the Chelsea neighborhood, and how this massive tear-down project will impact NYCHA residents. So many of us have been attending these meetings for so long. My hope is that you will adopt the letter without any changes before you and work to make this a successful project that takes into account the views of our NYCHA neighbors and the broader community. Thank you.
Thank you very much. Is Christina Ember here in the room? She signed up. No? Okay, then I think
Well, Renee,
oh,
she's online and in person.
you made it. Here you go. Here you go. 1 minute.
Okay, so I'll be very simple. This plan is violent, it's disruptive, it reeks of, how should I say, elitism, disengagement, expecting people to be who you think they are instead of who they are. This plan, there should be no demolition. But more than that, there should be rehabilitation under comprehensive modernization and Section 9. We need to have a new thought, a new vision, real understanding of what housing is and its issue, and stop using the word affordable housing. It's an utter embarrassment, and it's a joke at this point. So what we can say is that the letter is what it is, but we need to make a real solution. And the solution has to go beyond just a vote. We have to reinvest in Section 9 and public housing. We have to invest in people, invest in community, and actually care. So some of you out there, you need to start running for office. Please do so. We are in desperate, desperate need of your help and vision and care.
Thank you, Renee. So I think we're going to go online now. How about Michelle Spinner, Miriam Fisher, and Erica? Oh, well, Erica's not. Yeah, I'm going off what we circled. Is that okay? Sure. Whichever's easier for you.
Hello, hello. I heard Michelle Spinner's name, but she's actually in the room, so I think I'll go. My name is Miriam Fisher. I am a longtime Chelsea resident. In fact, my grandma moved to Penn South, which was at the time called ILGWU in 1961. And lived
Hold on,
there.
Miriam. Hold on. I'm sorry. You froze. Everyone froze online for a little bit. So we're going to start your time again. But I'm guessing you can hear me now, Miriam?
I can hear you perfectly. Can you hear me okay?
I can, and we can see you as well. So your 1 minute starts now.
Great, thank you. Okay, so I agree with what every speaker has said, and just a couple of short sound bites. The related companies and everything they stand for is actually antithetical to community. Should this horrendous plan go through, they are going to wipe a character from the neighborhood, because everything they touch turns to bland, glassed in alienation. There isn't any community involved. I am the most disappointed, and I've got a name check, in Brad Hoylman Siegel, because of all my elected representatives of local ones, he's been the most consistently good until this thing, which means to me that the fix is in so hard. And I will just leave you with this. The fruit of the poison tree is poisonous, and the related companies and everyone in their ilk is absolute poison to the things that make New York City alive and thriving. So if you vote for them.
Thank you, Miriam.
Death wish. Thank you.
Thank you. Michelle Spinner. Oh, I'm sorry. Oh, online too. You. Okay, no worries. No worries. Jackie Lara, I know you're under Renee. So, Jackie,
Yes.
Can you hear me?
Yes, I can hear you. Can you hear me?
We can. Your 1 minute starts now.
All right. Hi, guys. We've been coming to this community board for 2 years, and all you've seen over and over again of people who oppose this demolition. I mean, you guys knew from the start that this is a scam. The survey was a scam. So guys, please, for once, stand with us. I mean, I know some of you like of CB4 are really for us. I don't know how the other ones feel, but please stand with us on this. You know, this is going to destroy this community. And we all got along just fine in this community until greediness came in and started greasing up everybody's hand with money. Money is not everything. Yes, it does solve problems, but it shouldn't take away our homes. Fulton and Chelsea was a beautiful development and we could get it restored again. Just come on, guys, stick with us, please. You know, this is dishonest. And I'm going to tell you something about me. If you needed a plate of food, you could come to my house and I will feed you and your family. I will back you up with your LGBTQ. I would do anything for anybody in that damn board. All right. That's the kind of loyal person I am. So please have my back on this. Save Fulton and Chelsea, please. Thank you.
Thank you, Jackie. We are going to go to Roberta Gelb.
Okay, the truth has been elusive since the beginning of this project. The project never included demolition. It was only after the project that was awarded that Related started changing it to include demolition. How is this legal? Everyone on this board should be watching the documentary Raising Liberty Square, where Related did the same thing. And lastly, in honor of Jane Wood and Susan Cohen, if this plan goes through, get ready for sit-ins when they try to bring in the machinery to do the demolition.
Thank you, Roberta. We are going to go to Layla Gisico. Oh, there you are, Layla. Hi, Layla.
Yes.
You have 1 minute.
Thank you so much. I just want to reiterate what everybody just said. This community is squarely against this plan, against demolition. I just want to bring one additional fact. In addition to what Roberta just said, you know, this project was never put to bid. This demolition, $1.9 billion, was never put to bid. Even Related did not bid on it. They just, you know, threw a number at us. That is not a competitive number. But I want everybody to understand that now 6 buildings are going to be converted to Section 8 and will command market rate. For each 1-bedroom apartment in these buildings, Related will receive $4,048. No renovation, no upgrade, still leaky plumbing, still unfixed elevators, and Related, in exchange for nothing, will receive $4,000 for each 1-bedroom apartment for as long as these buildings stand. This is the kind of unreliable partner, and that's really a nice way to put it, that we're dealing with. Please vote no on this project. Stand with the community. Do the right thing. You know
Thank you,
in
Layla.
your guts that this is the right thing. Thank you for the opportunity.
Thank you. I'm looking for Missy. Missy Adam? Oh, there you are. Okay, great. Your 1 minute starts now.
Okay, thanks. I appreciate the community board giving time to this issue, but I wonder at this point, will the community board have any impact on the project, especially if it disagrees with it? It just feels meeting after meeting like so much theater. After years of complete quiet on the project, a flurry of meetings have been held in the past 6 months, and myriad tenants and neighbors have registered their opposition, yet it hasn't budged the needle. Construction has started, tenants are getting notice to vacate, so it seems the fix is in and demolition is a done deal. It feels like after 2 years, the current rush to hold these meetings is just to create the perception that the process has been fair and open. It is neither. At a time when we desperately need courage and vision, our political leaders, city council, community board should have long ago advocated for the community, not the developers. This is a bad plan. Don't get mired in the details. To do so is essentially endorsing the plan. If you're to be a voice for the community, reject the plan. No demolition. Going forward, the tenants of Fulton Elliott Chelsea houses should band together and sue NYCHA for failing to maintain their buildings.
Thank you, Ms. Adams.
And secure their safety. Thank you.
Thank you. Next, we have Laura Barron. I see you. Can you hear me?
Yes, can you hear me?
Great. Yes, we can. Your 1 minute starts now.
Thanks, board, for your service. My name is Laura Barron, and I'm a Clinton housing tenant. In 2021, a fire at 501 West 52nd Street left my family homeless for 3 weeks till we signed a temporary relocation agreement with Clinton Housing to live at 540 West 53rd in accordance with our financial qualifying for this building. Matt Green is my husband. He is also a member of this community board. We have always been upstanding rent-paying tenants and members of this community for nearly 20 years, where we've had the opportunity to raise our son, Leo. Instead of preparing Leo for his first day of school tomorrow at PS 111, I'm here with you because we were served a 10-day notice to quit under our door yesterday from Clinton Housing with the threat of eviction. When the fire broke out at 501 West 52nd, the fire alarms never went off. And if Matt had not been awake at 1 a.m. to see the smoke and call FDNY, it's likely that all tenants could have died in their sleep. Leo, our son, began having panic attacks at age 6 directly related to the fire. His teacher stated that in her 16 years as an educator, she hadn't witnessed more severe panic in a first grader. He needed oxygen and couldn't breathe. So after signing a relocation agreement, our son developed a medical condition and we cannot return to an unsafe unit at 501. Assembly member Linda Rosenthal spoke to Joe
Thanks
2
you,
weeks
Laura.
ago.
Thank you, Laura.
Thank you. I just want to say that Joe told the assembly member he would work with us in good faith and not send us this and not go to the courts. Why were we served this? And Joe is lying in this document that he signed about us as well. I just want to go on record. Thank you for your help.
Thank you very much. I think that's it for our public session. Thank you for all of you. I know you guys have come out month after month after month, and we really appreciate all your participation and everything that it takes for you guys to get here. I know it's a hardship on a lot of you. So here ends the public session. Thank you.
Yes, that's enough.
We will be voting, but not yet. We have other business and still others to hear from. So you're welcome to hold tight and continue with us as the meeting progresses. You are welcome to stick around. Okay, you all have a copy of our agenda. Can I get a motion to adopt the agenda? Thank you. Second, thank you, Ted. All in favor? Great. Thank you. And our minutes, thank you again to Katie Stokes and Rachel Lee for the minutes. Can I get a motion to adopt the minutes? Thank you, Kevin. Second, thank you. All in favor? Great. Any opposed? Terrific. We now will turn to our elected officials. We'll ask that everyone do please keep it brief. As you heard, there are people very eager to hear about the business portion of our agenda this evening. But we will start with someone who probably has a fair amount of news to share, Mackie, coming up representing Congressman Jerry Nadler. And after that will be Quentin for the council member. And again, we'll just ask folks to come around the back. Just, but like 3 minutes.
Good evening, everyone. So as you all know, this week, Congressman Nadler that he will not be seeking re-election next year after more than 32 years of serving the people of New York in Congress. While this was a difficult decision, he feels it is the right time to pass the torch to a new generation. He is deeply grateful to the people of Manhattan and for the privilege of representing them, as well as to the community groups, advocacy organizations, and countless others individuals who have been key partners in many important fights over the years. As he finishes his term, Congressman Nadler will continue to give everything he has to defend our institutions and fight for the values that as Americans and New Yorkers we share. Office will remain available to assist with any federal casework and community issues. So should you have any questions or concerns, please do not hesitate to reach out to us. And then last but not least, our office is accepting submissions for the Congressional App Challenge. This challenge is open to all middle school and high school students residing or going to school in your 12th congressional districts. For more information, feel free to go to nadler.house.gov, and the deadline is October 30th. Thank you so much.
Quentin, is Quentin here? And then Ben, you'll be next.
Hey everyone, you all able to hear me more or less? This mic's been going on and off. Okay, sounds good to me. First off, just want to say thank you all. This is actually my first time speaking at full board. Want to thank everybody for being here. Want to also thank Mackie and Congressmember Nadler. Obviously, what an incredible legacy, and we're just, honored to see it. So a couple of exciting news items from us. We're thrilled about the Midtown South rezoning, bringing 10,000 or close to 10,000 new possible units of housing while protecting the garment industry, which is absolutely crucial. Such an incredible part of our community and our fabric. The council members also submitted a letter to the New York Police Department requesting that community council meetings be made hybrid so people can access them, even if they're not able to go attend in person. That's incredibly important. We want to make sure that everybody is able to go have their voice heard. And about the upcoming casino hearings, there is one left for each of the two casinos, right in Council District 3, September 8th at noon. At the Javits Center for the Avenir proposal, and September the 11th at 2 o'clock for the Caesar proposal, which is going to be held at the Broadhurst Theater. If you want to also submit a comment over email, please reach out to our, the District 3 at council.nyc.gov. We will make sure that makes it to the committee. Si quieres comentar sobre los casinos, por favor, mándenos un email y lo podemos ayudar. Thank you so much again. Really appreciate it.
We have interpretation tonight, but we encourage you to come to our budget requests discussions. That was a request for interpretive translation services. Ben.
Thank you. Assemblymember Simone recently introduced the Mandating End of Lawless Tactics, MELT Act, in response to the dangerous tactics being used by ICE and other law enforcement entities. The MELT Act will ensure greater transparency and accountability in law enforcement by prohibiting officers and agents at all levels from covering their faces while carrying out operations in New York. It also requires that officers be clearly identifiable on their uniforms through a name, badge number, or other visible marker. As the Trump administration escalates the use of secretive, unmarked, uncountable forces, the MELT Act protects public safety by rebuilding trust between communities and law enforcement. Assemblymember Simone also recently introduced the Nonpartisan Pulpit Act to safeguard longstanding separation of church and state by ensuring that tax-exempt nonprofits, including churches, charities, and cultural institutions, remain free from partisan politics. This legislation codifies and strengthens the federal Johnson Amendment here in New York by prohibiting 501c3 organizations from endorsing or opposing political candidates while still allowing robust advocacy, lobbying, and nonpartisan voter education. Assemblymember Simone was proud to join Roundabout Theater Company at the groundbreaking for the next chapter of the Todd Hames Theater. Since 1965, Roundabout has been a cornerstone of New York's cultural life, spotlighting classics, nurturing new works, and investing in future theater professionals. He's honored to help secure $500,000 in state funding, $250,000 in state funding to support the renovation of the theater's 6th floor as part of its comprehensive betterment project. We will be having a shred truck soon. If you have any papers that you need securely disposed of, we will be hosting this shred truck at Penn South on Monday, September 22nd from 9 a.m. to 12 p.m. That will be at West 26th Street between 8th and 9th Avenue. Thank you.
Next, we're going to go to Yiyi Wang, representing the borough president. I believe she's online. And if we have anybody else representing an elected official in the room, please come up, or online, please raise your hand. Yiyi?
Hi, everybody. I was going to be there in person, but unfortunately I'm sick. I think my little monster has beat me to beyond my limits. So pre-congratulations to students, and further congratulations to the parents who have survived the summer, because tomorrow is the back to school day. So I have a couple things to update. First is that our community board leadership training series is scheduled for the week of Monday, October 20th through Thursday, October 23rd. It's significantly shorter than the previous years, just to save people's time. So we are going to have different topics, including equal employment opportunity, conflicts of interest board, and and also the skills to combat implicit bias and other tools. So for more information, you can just feel free to reach out. And also, we're going to have 2 events coming up. The first one is the African American Day Parade, which is September 21st. So the meeting time is around 12 p.m. So if you want to join us, you can also reach out. The next one is the Hispanic Heritage Month celebration. We're going to have it also on September 21st at 6 p.m. Oh, it's a busy day. It's at Sugar Hill Children's Museum of Art and Storytelling. So if you also want to join us, please also reach out. And the next is that, so the New York City ferry system is undertaking its first system-wide improvement process in 8 years. So the borough president penned an op-ed in AM New York calling for the new plan to incorporate Upper Manhattan by establishing a robust Trans-Hudson Ferry service connecting Northern Manhattan and Northern Jersey to West Harlem. So you can read more on AM New York, and also if you want to provide your feedback about a specific landing, you can just fill out the 2025 New York City Ferry Network optimizing feedback form at www.surveymonkey.com. It's too long. I just leave it in the chat box. And also that the BP is proud to direct over $55 million in capital funding across the borough. This including over $50 million for cultural institution, $14 million for public schools, $9 million for parks and libraries, and over $10 million for vital housing and social services. This funding also maintains his commitment to expanding legal services for right to counsel for tenants facing eviction and support for immigration. So if you want to know the complete list of this year's capital allocation, you can just find it on our website. That'll be it. Thank you very much. And enjoy the very little of the summer.
Thank you, Yiyi.
Thank you.
We've been, Eve Bermudez. Are you with an elected's office?
Yes, good evening. I'm with the mayor's office of
Eve,
Community
you need to
Affairs.
speak up. We really don't hear you, unfortunately.
Hello, do you hear me now?
Better. Go ahead.
This is Ms. Bermudez from the mayor's office of Community Affairs, standing in for Robin Forst, Manhattan Borough Director, who's not available tonight. So I have a few talking points, City Hall announcements. Mayor Adams and NYPD Commissioner Tisch announced hiring of the largest police recruit class in almost 10 years. The mayor and the police commissioner recently announced the hiring of almost 1,100 police officer recruits. This is the largest class of officers sworn in by the NYPD since January 2016. This class brings the total of new recruits in 2025 to a record of almost 3,000 officers. In total, the Adams administration has hired nearly 10,000 recruits, of whom more than 8,000 are on our streets and subways. Another talking point is developing a cleaner city. Mayor Adams and the DSNY acting commissioner announced multiple milestones in the fight against trash and rats on our streets and highways. The Adams administration announced 3 major milestones in their efforts to fight rats and deliver a cleaner city to all New Yorkers. The DSNY Highway Unit, created by the Adams administration in April 2023, has removed more than 15 million pounds of litter and debris from highway shoulders and medians. Second, nearly a year ahead of a June 2026 deadline for buildings with 1 to 9 residential units to use trash bins, more than New York City residents and building managers have ordered nearly 900,000 bins, a major milestone in the city's effort to move trash off streets and into containers. Third, the data shows that the city's war on rats is working, since residential containerization requirements took effect 8 months ago. The number of rat sightings reported to 311 have declined in recent months. Speaker Adams announced bold contract reform to help nonprofits get paid faster. So Mayor Adams, together with the council speaker, have launched a pilot to accelerate payments for some small-scale discretionary funding awards. And the discretionary grant pilot, which will launch in the fall, it will replace the traditional contract process with direct grant agreements for approximately 100 organizations receiving 25,000 or less in discretionary funding during its first year. The pilot will eliminate 13 steps, allowing eligible nonprofits to receive 100% of their city council allocated funds in nearly half the time of the current contracting process.
Thank you, Eve.
Yes. Okay.
Thank you. We appreciate these updates and feel free to email us any others and we'll be happy to share with the board.
Okay. Have a good evening.
Thank you. I'm now going to turn it to our district manager for our district manager's report.
Good evening, everybody. I'm Jesse Bodine, District Manager, Community Board 4 for the month of September. First of all, welcome back, everybody. For the month of September, just a couple updates for committees, committee changes. So the Budget Task Force and the Executive Committee will be meeting on Thursday, September 25th. Budget Task Force at 5, Executive Committee at 6:30. And then just a reminder, I've already said this a number of times, but a reminder that October's full board will be meeting on Tuesday, September 30th. All other committees for the month of September will be meeting at their regularly scheduled dates and times. I want to bring everybody's attention, particularly board members, but also members of the public, that there'll be some changes to the fall and winter.
Better?
Okay. Should I start from the beginning or no? All right, we'll just go right into the fall and winter committee schedule. Starting in October, MCB4's offices will be temporarily relocated. Our new office space is not ready yet, and our current office space is lease ends at the end of September. So the location of the committee meetings are still being determined. It is a daily process for me, and I will be asking board members and the members of the public for their patience and also their attention to our communications. I know we've all been used to going to the same place, and you think I got the email and I read it and I just have to scan it and I'll know where I'm going. Guess what? It's going to be in a different location. So please take a minute and take a look at it. Take a look at the committees. Also, you can always go to the calendar on our website. We try to keep it up to date as quickly and as soon as possible. So I just want to bring that to your guys' attention. We will have a home. We will have a place to meet. Where the location is still being determined, but that's it. Thank you.
Briefly for the chair's report, I want to touch on two important annual processes. Jesse referenced them, but one is our executive officer elections and the other is our statement of district needs and budget requests. First, on elections, we are beginning the process for electing new executive officers who will begin serving in January. The positions up for election are chair, first vice chair, second vice chair, and 2 secretary positions. This month, we will be forming a nominating committee of at least 5 members to meet with interested candidates. If you are interested in running for an executive officer role, please reach out to Jesse Bodine with your resume and your interest as soon as possible. Just quickly on timeline, in October, the nominating committee will meet with all interested candidates. In November, they will produce or present a slate of nominees and take any nominations from the floor. In December, we will hold the vote with candidates beginning, as I said, their terms in January. If you have any questions about this process, 1, you can consult our bylaws, but 2, if you're thinking about running, you're not yet sure if you're ready to reach out to Jesse, feel free to reach out to me, any members of the current executive slate or executive leaders or any of your colleagues around the room. Second, on the statement of district needs and budget requests, each committee should be discussing and voting on its priorities in September and October. These submissions will then be reviewed by the Budget Task Force, which will finalize recommendations in October and November. The full board will then vote on the final statement of district needs and budget requests in November, and they will be submitted to the city for consideration ahead of the issuance of the city's preliminary budget, which gets released in February. I'm looking at Roberta. She's nodding. I'm getting that right. Last year's materials are particularly our statement of district needs and the budget requests can be found in each committee's Dropbox. And so as you look ahead to your meetings and prepare to attend your committee meetings this month and in October, be thinking about the needs you've been hearing about throughout the year. Hopefully we've already written letters on these issues. If we haven't, maybe we want to bring them. If there's an issue your committee wants to address in the statement of district needs or in the budget, particularly, this might be an opportunity to add them to your September or October agendas so that we can be on record for having shown support for these issues. The first budget task force meeting will take place on September 25th. And as an open meeting, I encourage anyone who is interested in learning more about this process to attend. Meanwhile, I want to thank again Roberta Barnett, our second vice chair, for chairing this important effort, as well as the members of the task force, Christine Bertay, Leslie Murphy, Kevin Collins, Ella Kim, Shanice Mitchell, Greg Morris, Maria Ortiz, Dolores Rubin, and Katie Stokes. Their work reflecting the discussions had at each committee ensures our community's needs are heard and reflected in the city's budget process. Additionally, I think I saw some flyers circulating, but you've heard a lot about our board engagement working group, which recommended the concept of board buddies, which is an opportunity to help new members get oriented and get connected to other more veteran members of the board. And so we are grateful for that working group who's put together these recommendations and put together a very adorable flyer listing the board buddies. We'll be emailing everybody out this week, but really want to encourage folks to do that outreach, make those connections. And if you're interested in being buddied with somebody and your name's not already on there, I'm sure the group would be happy to take more names for people to connect with. I also wanted to mention that our housing plan is now on our website. We voted that out in July, and we hope to be doing a deep dive on the plan for all members of the board in the coming weeks. With that, I'm going to turn it over now to begin our business portion of the meeting. And I'm looking at Wendy for BLP, which dutifully met in August. Thank you.
Yes, thank you to the committee for meeting in August and to Janine, who's been doing a fantastic job covering for Nellie while she's been out. Nothing too controversial this month, so we are in favor of bundling these 20 items, but I will accept any questions. And with that, off to the last item.
We'll take one non-controversial or 21 non-controversial. Actually, maybe not. I don't know. Okay, so before I turn it to our co-chairs from CLUE and Housing, which is our last item on the agenda, item number 21, I just want to offer some brief framing, but then I'll turn it to the folks managing those committees to add on. As you'll see, each committee worked on the relevant portions of this letter. So HHS met in July, CLUE in August. And again, I want to thank CLUE for assembling to make that happen. And each worked on what was their respective business of the letter. So Health and Human Services and Housing worked on those pieces. Chelsea Land Use obviously focusing on the land use elements. As is consistent with our board practices, the leadership of those committees, together with my guidance and Jesse's, recommended a joint letter, which is what has been introduced as new business here today. Extensive comment was received ahead of today's meeting, which I think the co-chairs will go through and acknowledge those that they received. And I want to thank everyone who contributed so constructively. There was a lot of email traffic with very clear, detailed suggestions, and I hope that will be consistent with the kinds of comments that you will offer here today, which is that they be as clear and constructive as possible so that we can manage this evening's discussion. I want to also remind everyone that the record of decision was issued by HUD in July 2025 with a 90-day notice period, which is really what propelled this board and its committees to take the decisive action to bring these suggestions, which are reflected in the letter, to a vote. I also want to remind everyone that contrary to some of the things that were heard tonight, we have been meeting and hearing on this topic for 2 years actively. We have been demanding information when none was available. We've had members of the community coming to, including NYCHA residents, coming to us, asking us for information, which we have then successfully secured. We have not been successful in all of our requests, but as a result of our advocacy, for example, that the survey results were ever fully made public. We have written many letters, all of which are on our website, requesting information and demanding improvements. But we have not been on record in such a comprehensive way as what is being proposed this evening. I also want to note that this is not the ULURP process. We are ahead of ULURP, which we do anticipate happening in early 2026. Obviously, anything can change and we don't know, but as we'll note, this letter does call for ULURP taking place. As I'm sure you'll hear the co-chairs reflect, we have tried to face the desire for a response to the proposals and the imminent nature of the record decision, but we must also balance letting this letter suffer from letting perfect be, or having perfect be, the enemy of good, when still so many questions remain unanswered and plans unclear. Again, I just want to emphasize that this is really complex and complicated, and nuance matters. And so it's with that I both, if you don't have a copy of the letter, that I encourage you to pull it up now, and that you be as specific in your comments, because the nuance here is really what we're trying to achieve, and to thread the needle of many perspectives and committee work. And again, as the co-chairs will say, anything that is contradictory to what has been approved at the committee will require separate amendments. And so we'll really be working together as a team, a leadership team here, with the co-chairs to parse what is considered friendly and what is requiring of an amendment. So with that, I'll invite Joe, Maria, and Greg, I think, to come on up and offer some additional framing and introduce the letter.
So I just want to start by saying this letter is an amalgam of a whole bunch of information that the board has received over two. And also not just from the developer, not just from NYCHA or our elected officials, but from community members, and most important, from NYCHA tenants. We tried to distill it down into something that creates the beginning of a position. But I want to note for the record, this is not going to be our only letter, as this project is quite large. There will be a ULURP eventually. There will be more letters that are very specific to what gets proposed in that. So there will be language that is not exact. Please bring this up. Let's talk about it tonight and try to fix it. I will note, I want to thank all the folks who put email in, new members, Ellen, Dave Holoka, not a new member, Paul Devlin, people that went through this carefully and said, this didn't work or that didn't work exactly, Carrie. And we really try to then deal with those items. Greg will just tick those off on the broad sections that we feel we can do that are in keeping with what the two committees agreed to. Again, I'm going to note, it's not a perfect position, because this is far from a perfect project. And I will tell you, in my experience and career on the board, I have never seen more difficulty in getting information about a project. We've all shared that frustration. Many times, NYCHA tenants would come to meetings and believe the board was the one who was controlling this process. We're so far from the truth. We're just being around the edges the best we can to get information. So tonight, we want to go through this, hear from the various board members. We've heard from the public already, and then start to craft through, not do language exactly, but just craft through the big items that people have questions about. Greg? And then Maria.
I just want to express my gratitude to the co-chairs, to Jesse and to Jessica, to everyone who has played a role in the CLUE committee, whether you're a committee member or you're a member of the community board and who has participated as part of the CLUE conversations. I think we have sought to be open. I think we have sought to be respectful. I think we have sought to ask good questions. I think we have received a lot of information. And I guess I just want to note that I understand that not every opportunity we have had as chairpersons has been perfect. But I greatly appreciate the focus and the energy, regardless of where it is that folks are in this conversation, to bring their passion and their insight to the table. And I do hope that what we have constructed in this letter is reflective of what it is that we have heard, received, and what it is that we think makes sense in terms of going forward. On that note, I also want to just express to you, just to reinforce one earlier point, and that was HHHS took on part of this and CLU took on another part. And so just for reference, CLU didn't vote on HHHS worked on. HHHS didn't vote on what CLU worked on. I just want to note that, because in this room, as we start to dig into the content and discuss and reflect on what the content is or isn't, just know that this is actually an opportunity for us to, amongst ourselves, about how this letter works and how it fits in a way that we haven't yet. Is that fair to say, Joe? Okay. Chelsea Land Use Committee, CLU. Sorry about that. Triple HS.
Housing, Health, Human Services.
Thank you very much for that. My apologies. Okay. So now we're going to pivot to the actual document itself. And what I have here is and I'll look to you on this one, just to reinforce what Joe said. There were 200 or so comments made by this community board in response to this letter. A significant number of those comments were related to line edits. We don't think it's appropriate or useful in this particular moment to spend energy on line edits. Those are things that, barring any lack of clarity that we have about how that grammatically works, we don't think we need to weigh into that now. Those are things we can account for as we go forward. Okay? I would suggest to you a third of the comments that we got perhaps were more broad brush, meaning they might have been about the way the questions specifically about process. There may have been some things about format and how format looks and how the letter could be prioritized in different ways. That's also an area we're not going to wade into right now. Don't think that's the best use of our time. I think the best use of time is to focus on 2 or 3 items that came up consistently within the comments as something that we need to pause and reflect on and respond to. And just to note, we're not going to go line by line here. There's 200 comments. I don't think it's worthwhile to check them off one by one. So just for folks in the room, please know that we've collected all of the content, and barring anything that we think is out of alignment with what the letter is, we can incorporate, but there were some specific pieces that we know require some focus. And I'm going to highlight them in the letter as a starting point for our reference. Okay? So specifically, page 2 of the letter, starting there.
Lines 30 to...
Lines 30 to 35. This is the section specific to hold a vote on each campus, conducted and monitored by third-party neutral organization to arrive at consensus on how to proceed with redevelopment. We're aware that there are community board members who have thoughts about that, and we wanted to make sure we created the opportunity for folks who wanted to weigh in on that. Okay. I defer to our district manager on that topic. The next thing, that's one of the pieces that we need to dig into. The next one is the lines, this is page 2, lines 37 through 44. This is the segment identified, except the possibility of developing separate plans for each NYCHA campus. That also resulted in some specific comment and feedback from community board members. And the third significant piece, again, not accounting for everything that was said, but these are the things that came up most consistently in the comments. There may be others that you want to highlight, but the third is on page 3, lines 13 through 21. This is the segment that says any newly constructed non-NYCHA housing should be predominantly affordable housing, at least 50% with a range of incomes, not market rate housing. There were some specific items related to that about affordability. There was also related to that, the sequencing of how it is that affordable housing versus market rate housing might be sought during the course of this process. I'll pause there to say those are the three where we received the most comments and feedback. Of those three items, those are specific to triple HS as opposed to Clue. So I do want to defer to Maria and Joe to take on those three.
Maria first, just to speak.
I'll add more later, definitely.
I also want to note that this letter will go to all of our electeds, everyone. Have an issue. I'll take the easiest ones first. An issue with how the wording is regarding any new housing, market rate or affordable. The issue is, as a board, we don't know how this plan will finally fall out. Will it be renovation? Will it be new construction and renovation? Will it be all new construction? So we have to cover all bases. In the event that there is demolition and new construction here, we need to make sure that it proceeds in the path where it's NYCHA, affordable, and market rate all at the same time. We don't want to be in the position that Atlantic Yards was many years ago, where all the market rate got built first and the affordable never happened. So we're going to work on clarifying that language to sort of lay it out. And that's the intent of it. It's not about favoring one plan or another. It's making sure that whatever happens, every segment gets handled. Even in the original working group plan, there was new construction or some infill housing. And in that, the working group was specific, at least 50% would be affordable, 50% market. The other issue that's come up from a number of people, can we increase the income bands? That's a simple thing. We normally say between 50% up to 125, we can add in that and just fix that very easily. So I'd like to stick on that first. Do you have any comments or thoughts about that section or questions? Page 3, lines 13 to 20. JD.
Oh. Should be a mic on that. Okay, there's one coming. He had one.
Thank you, Joe. On the income bands, yes, I do think they should be increased, and also no donuts, no
gaps.
No gaps.
Correct. Our standard no gap language.
Thank you.
Other questions in this area? Roberta. Working?
Yeah, no, I think, okay, we're good now. So on lines 20 and 21, there is affordable housing production must come before market rate housing construction. What I think is important is to square that with lines like 38, 39 that talk about the integration of these. So
yeah, that's got to be the reconciliation.
So either one of them needs to be prioritized. So I believe that the discussion at HHHS was to, prioritize integration. But if integration is not financially feasible or is not ultimately pursued because it's a renovation plan, because it's infill, whatever reason, then the preference, of course, would be that any affordable NYCHA and affordable housing would be constructed prior to any market rate housing.
It makes perfect to qualify it that way. So it's very clear, because the problem is we're trying to hit every master at once and it's hard to express it. Oh, Katie?
The same.
Oh, check. Anyone else on this? Oh, David.
There's an assumption that that some kind of market rate housing is going to be required to make this fly. I think, in the letter, there's an assumption that there's going to be a certain percentage of market rate and a certain percentage of affordable. But given the lack of transparency from Related and NYCHA, we've never been shown any numbers that prove that.
Right. However, the board is on record already from supporting the working group proposal that there would be in any new building built 50% market and 50% affordable. That's our current position. So it's not as if we're straying from that.
The Attorney General, in their comments on the draft scope of work, said that if NYCHA needs the revenue from market rate housing to support the development of newly constructed NYCHA buildings or renovation, it should explain in detail the underwriting of developments showing capital contributions from the developer and why development without market rate housing is not feasible. Do you think that that would contradict the position that we have? I think it just kind of makes sense to ask NYCHA to prove that any market rate housing is needed.
So the issue we have as a community board is that we actually 4 years ago with the working group, we actually talked about small infill and 50% market rate and 50%, correct. There was never any demolition and 50%. So the issue here is how do we properly explain it without what you said? I think we have to have language in there in general, David, about the information and the pro formas. Like we have to get the financial stuff. And I think we have that, but we can bolster that up to help make that argument.
Can we put in stronger language calling for NYCHA to justify its financial claims?
I think yes, but not in this section. I think it should be in the broader information, in the section we ask for information for all the proposals.
Okay,
that would make sense.
Will do.
Yeah, it's already there. Others on this matter of the integration and the affordable and market rate to the degree it's ever built. Okay, let's move to the next item, which is this one. Right. This is the hardest one. Okay. Yeah. Let's I'm on page 1 now. So the question here is, we were very specific in putting this out that at current, we could not accept any of the proposals in their current form. That does not mean we can't accept a proposal. We have been at the vanguard of trying to get some sort of something done here, whether that's renovation and or some limited new construction. So the question is, we have all these items listed as a way to say, follow these guidelines, because the normal process in any project did not happen here. This normally would have been, oh, we can't do the proposal that was approved for which the RFP was issued, for which the developers actually responded to. We have to go through a process to change it. That didn't happen. So that's why all of our guidelines are there. Do people have questions about that as a general thought or idea about not accepting any of the proposals in their current form? Nothing from the board members. Okay. Next item sorry, I can't see. Christine, speak because we can't see you necessarily.
Yes, I had a question about kind of that on the first paragraph where we are not mentioning, shouldn't we be mentioning that there was no RFP?
I think we can note that there was an RFP and then it was changed because there was an RFP.
Well, but there was no RFP for the current proposals.
Yes. Yes. Yeah, we have we have the notes. Correct. Leslie got it.
I mean, I would.
The answer is yes, Christine.
I would see it in the first 2 paragraphs, saying this is not, we cannot support, because a part of it is that there was no RFP to support it.
I think we can simply say that an RFP was issued for renovation and instead, without any justification, it was changed.
Yes. Yes. Thank you.
I'm sorry. Sorry, this part of the public is not speaking. It's a I apologize. Request for proposals. There was a public request for proposals. Developers submitted their submissions. We have seen them. They're on our board website. They're very full, and they're all for renovation and limited new construction. Viren. On the matter of this.
Hi, I sent you a sort of email.
Yes.
4 or 5 items that we sort of list down below.
Right.
Can we move them up front so that we can frame the entire letter?
We're not going to get into the formatting tonight, Viren. We need to.
The question is very different. The question is, can we not put an ask right up front?
That's sort of laying out the letter, and do you have on the substance of this first section? We've added now a language about the RFP for renovation, and this is for new construction. Is there anything specific on this in the substance that you're interested in? Because that's what we're really trying to deal with tonight.
Okay.
Matt?
So online, the section where it talks about clear up misinformation. So as co-chair of our ACES committee, there's been ongoing conversations with PS 33.
Matt, give me the lines.
Yeah, so its line begins at 16, page 4.
Oh, sorry.
So ongoing conversations with school leadership at PS 33.
Got it.
One of the main issues that they've been having is lack of communication about the project. Just want to explicitly put PS 33 as one of the stakeholders in this paragraph, along with some of the others like the NYCHA Elliott.
PS 33, PTA, like that.
Yeah.
Okay. You'll give us some language on that?
Josephine, do I have that in your
Oh,
Pass it along.
thank you, Matt. Thanks, Josephine. Line. Carrie? Oh, Ellen.
Oh, I'm here.
I have a hard time seeing you. I'm kind of an oblique angle. Sorry,
That's
guys.
okay. It's Carrie.
Yes.
Hi.
You're full screen now. I can see.
Oh, okay, good. Yeah. Okay. Great. No. So, yeah, back to the first page and to follow up on what Christine was saying, as I wrote to you all, I felt like we are kind of missing the why. And one of the whys, in my opinion, is that, the FEIS and the DEIS, the lack of exploring an alternative for renovation and all of the unmitigated
impacts,
impacts that we know were, I don't want to say like
summarily
dismissed, but not necessarily taken, there wasn't any real, it didn't feel that there was any real effort to try to mitigate. So to me, that's also one of the reasons why we would say we don't support any of the developments instead of just launching kind of right into what we demand, which we've been demanding, most of it for, as you know.
For quite some time.
Yes, for quite some time. So I would suggest adding some language around, the information that we have now versus just the demands, and how we do not, none of these plans have really taken into account any of the things that we or the community have asked for.
Got it.
Thank you.
Got it in the notes. Yep. Chris, Ellen.
Yeah. So sort of along the same lines as what Carrie had said, I think one thing that is missing from this letter is really specific asks. So there is a lot of published and public information, for instance, about the relocation plans and the right to return agreement. And I think we need to say, if those are insufficient, what exactly is insufficient about them, and ask for what we need, and ask for something that would fulfill tenants' rights as we see them, and so sort of really be explicit about what needs are not being met, because otherwise I think we're going to get the answer that they have delivered even more than what is mandated by law. I think my other major sticking point here is page 2 and 3, line 45 through 3. That's actually, I read that as an ask to trash the whole project? Like, so if NYCHA does not lease the buildings, that means that they do not have a pact partner, which means that there is no pact program.
I'm sorry, it reads NYCHA will net lease, not lease. Net lease.
What does net lease mean?
Lease means that there's a 99-year lease with an owner, and the net lessee operates the property. That is the standard structure in the PAC deals citywide. They're all net leased. NYCHA always maintains ownership of the land for enforcement purposes.
Okay, so then I guess this sort of goes with my previous point then. So this is something that has already been granted, right? So
no,
so I think
it has. All these items are not granted; they're proposed because the deal is not final. And in many cases here, we are just reiterating things to make sure they actually happen. It's not like we're saying you do X.
These are things there are some things here, many things here that are already in the master development agreement, right? Like there are things that are everybody is in agreement that have to get done. Many of them are mandated by law. And then there are things that are not, things that we're asking for that are above and beyond, things that we're asking for that are mitigations for ill effects of the project. And I think those are the things that we should really be prioritizing, because those are the things that we will not get otherwise. So I think we should be really explicit about what we're asking for here.
So one of the things we should note for relocation, we have been explicit in the working group plan. There was a whole series of section about tenant rights, and we can refer to that by a reference or a footnote, and that'll take care of all of that, because those things are not in the document that has been put out by NYCHA. I did look at that reference you sent, and it doesn't have all those items in the way that we had agreed to. For example, one of the key points for people who are working folks in NYCHA is they have today a flat rent. And that means they can't go up to a market rent. It turns out that has not been agreed to by HUD, and I verified that with the Congress member's office. So that's the kind of thing that people really are seriously concerned about in terms of tenant protections in their relocation. I think we can incorporate it by reference and then maybe put a note saying what that means or something like that. I think it's the way to go.
Yeah, I think that's the kind of thing we should really concentrate on in this letter to make it extremely potent and really be explicit about what we're asking for. I think that's the best use of our political capital here.
Jessica and then Roberta. Not Jessica, yeah. Roberta. We're trying to get the mic working. Sorry.
We can't hear anything. What's going on?
Okay, sorry, we had a mic issue. I just wanted to note for everybody that these kinds of comments, with your approval, of course, but we really want to use our time to hash out where there's disagreement on the facts that are on the notions that are the concepts that are being included here, reordering, reprioritizing, as we've mentioned over 200 comments. I think if anybody wants to be in touch with the authors of the letter to help ensure that it gets right to the place that we want and that we circulate that back to the board or to relevant committees before it goes out, can be achieved. But I think for the remaining time this evening, if there's something that you're specifically you don't agree with, not where it is in the letter, but the concept you're not comfortable with, that would be important to raise now.
we're gonna go down the line.
Oh, no problem.
It's okay, Joe. I just want to double what Christine said about the RFP. I mentioned that to Greg. The one thing, and this is more philosophical, and I understand this letter is a result of where we are now.
Correct.
But when we mention affordable housing, when we mention market rate, when we mention all those things, there's an understanding that this letter is okaying privatization to a certain extent. And I think that's a little worrisome, but I understand this is where we are now. I get it that this is a result of all these years. So I understand.
It's also where the board supported its current position.
I'm just saying, I understand it. I'm just saying it's privatization of public land is a very, very slippery slope. And
agreed.
I don't want to get on, on a soapbox about that because should have been, 2 years ago, 3 years ago and talking. If there could be some sort of language that marries that we understand where we are trying to work towards solutions, and Maria's nodding, so I think you understand what I'm saying. But this privatization, it's not that I don't know how you would get to that, but that to me it would help me a little.
I mean, the way the board got to it last time is that we went through a huge public process and it was privatization with a whole series of safeguards. And many of those have just been stripped away. And that's the problem. Because we were so nuanced on tenant rights. And all of a sudden, like the flat rent, that was discussed maybe 7 or 8 weeks in a row. And now it's gone.
Well, you bring up a good point. So maybe that language should resurrect in here. You know what I mean? Then we should bring it up again.
Right.
I think that's a good point.
Roberta?
So there were, I guess, 2 places in the letter that I found some cause for concern, specifically the way that they were stated. The first would be on page 4, lines 4 through 9. This relates specifically to the prioritization of selective demolition. When I read that, what it suggests is that there is this fundamentally kind of like anti-demolition, maybe a little bit pro-demolition, in that, demolition may occur stance of the board that likely, it seems like would likely satisfy no one when ultimately NYCHA tenants are the ones who ought to be, or who in theory are the ones deciding whether or not demolition ultimately occurs. And I am wondering if there is at least some consideration as to if that really belongs in this particular letter.
Say that's all we've heard about for the last 2 years, about pro and con, about demolition, and we are reflecting what we're hearing from the community. It does not mean that it's a perfect position. And in fact, I would love us to say A or B, but we have not heard A or B. We've heard both. And folks who were 100% against any demolition have spoken separately and talked about they would deal with some selective demolition. We have heard people saying, I want a new building, and then 3 people get up and say, I don't want a new building, I want a renovated building. And I think that's why this is maybe we can work on clarifying a little bit of how language reads, but this is reflective of what we've heard for 2 years.
It ultimately suggests, though, if tenants are supportive of demolition or not supportive of any demolition, that those are not the material concerns. The board is basically supporting some form of minimum viable product demolition. That is how that reads. And I do not believe that ultimately reflects what the tenants have said in these meetings.
What tenants have said in these meetings?
Yeah, and I do think you are reflecting in the comments that you have just made what tenants have said on both sides, but I do not believe that this particular section and
Is there a recommend?
My recommendation would be to strike the selective demolition language.
That would have to be proposed as an amendment.
Yes, I am open to proposing that as an amendment.
So we'll get to it then. Put it on the side.
And happy to hold that for a minute. I have a second concern.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, so the second concern is on page 5. It is lines 9 through 11. And this relates specifically to limiting the FAR of any new project. And the concern here is that we are potentially looking at a project, if it were to move forward, a demolition and rebuild project, where we are asking for a ULURP. We are requesting this ULURP, and before it even begins, we are saying, under no circumstances are we interested in entertaining increases in bulk. We are not, and this is not a concern about contextuality, about height, about any other of the concerns here, but that we are not interested in entertaining increases in bulk. And I think we are putting ourselves at a disadvantage I think it would be appropriate, though, to say that we are interested in limiting bulk to the extent it is feasible to preserve residential floor area and bedrooms for NYCHA residents, and that the project should seek to limit overall bulk. I think that that would be, like, if I were to propose an amendment, that would be the one that I would propose. It is not that fundamentally the idea is incorrect, but I think it leaves us at a structural disadvantage if we are entering a ULURP process and we are saying before it even begins that we're not interested in entertaining increases in bulk.
So just to remember that we have had an increase in bulk. And that's the City of Yes proposal, which this board did not support. And that changed the bulk from 6.02 to 7.2 for the R8 portion, and from 7.2 to 8 for the R9 portion. And that happened during the course of this. So I would offer that we've already had an increase in bulk on these sites. And specifically, these blocks are not contextual. Any increase in bulk will be connected with an increase in height. There is no way around it. And the current proposal puts buildings forth that are wildly out of scale with the surrounding blocks. And that's, by the way, I'll get rid of the word wildly. The current proposal puts forth proposal that are buildings that are totally out of scale with the surrounding blocks. And therefore, I would say if you want to make a change, that's another amendment to offer.
What I will say is, just to clarify the intent here, the intent is to limit bulk and to leave all of the other conditions here. Not interested in touching those, but I do believe if you are asking for a ULURP, we as a board want this to go through a ULURP process. It is helpful to state that we do not support increases in bulk, but that what we are in fact interested in are contextuality and height, which is what I've consistently said. And while I understand that those are not entirely unrelated to bulk, frankly, why would the developer undertake a ULURP process in which they're going to be denied and, disagreed with by the community board if we state that, or we go into that process, that we're not interested in entertaining an increase?
I actually had this question earlier in the day and I responded to it from another member. This project will require waivers for setbacks, for height, for various other items that will require a ULURP. It's not just a bulk ULURP. It's going to be to make a project happen. What's currently built, if it's new construction and renovation or new construction, what's proposed is not going to fit into anything whatsoever. So there has to be a ULURP. But more important, our council member has stated publicly multiple times, he will only do this with a ULURP. Whether we believe it or not, he stated multiple times. So again, I would say offer it as an amendment because—
We'll offer it as an amendment because I think that the sentiment is correct, but the specific proposal is not appropriate.
Sanford?
Hey, yeah, I'd like to agree with Bobby's comments, and I will support that amendment when it is proposed. I think we sometimes forget this, but it is actually noted in the letter itself, which is that this is a topic that genuinely divides the tenants. And probably the best evidence of that is that the tenant president of one of the campuses is pro demo and rebuild, and the tenant president of the other campus is not. And those were both close elections. So just based on that's not a vote directly about the proposal, but that is from that, I think we can infer that this is genuinely a divided issue and somewhat 50-50. And I think obviously there's work to do to kind of try and figure out what will be work for one campus or for the other, or will work for, make the most tenants as happy as possible, since that really is the group of people whose goals are most important here. But I do think it is not right for us if when we say like the tenant should lead this process and then say the tenant should lead it, but also we should do as little demolition as possible. I don't think that makes sense, and I think that kind of starts on the wrong foot. I think if the tenants lead the process and there is support, for demolition, full or partial, then like we should say like that is our priority, and not that we are starting with a notion that we don't want to do demolition. I guess I'll respond to the other amendment that Bobby tentatively proposed, but Joe, do you have anything you want to say in response to the first amendment and my comments on it?
No, I just say that we must note when we talk about changes in bulk and such things like this, we are starting with the supposition also that these are development sites and not people's homes. And early on in this letter, we say, these are not development sites, these people's homes. And everything's got to be tempered with that. And we are all practitioners, and the tenants are part of this leading, but also it's in a community. It's a big part of our community, as we note in this letter, and it is not in isolation. It's all connected. So therefore, everyone's involved. And it is a normal thing for a community board to take positions such as this. Standard. Online, go to Christine and then Max.
Hold on.
Hold on, yeah.
Oh, no. Oh, sorry. Sanford wasn't finished. Sorry. Go ahead.
Yeah, Bobby proposed two tentative amendments. So that was a comment on the first one. On the second one, which was on FAR, I think sort of the two, as you mentioned, there are other stakeholders, but the most important stakeholders in terms of, putting forth a proposal that would potentially increase FAR should be NYCHA, since they actually own the land and it is public land. And then, of course, the tenants, since they live there. And if a ULURP is initiated, and we've said many times that we want to do that, and Eric Boccia wants to do it, and I think everybody agrees that should happen. I think we should take an open mind about FAR, and I say that in the spirit of on pretty much every ULURP that the board has looked at least in my 3 years on the board, we have found ways to work with developers and to maybe not do as much extra bulk as the developer might desire, but to do some and to find ways to make it work and be contextual and appropriate. And I really don't see why this ULURP we should not start with that same kind of open mind. We may not agree with everything. We might say that's too much, or that's not appropriate, that's not contextual. But I think when we go through the ULURP process and we read our ULURP letter, we should start with the conception that we're going to do the same way we've done any other ULURP, and try and make it work, and try and find ways to make more density work if that's what's desired, and make it something that's beneficial for the whole community.
I've actually forgotten something. I forgot. In most projects that we get for ULURP, for rezoning, it's a much lower density, and they're asking for a higher density to create more housing or more commercial space. In this case, there's hundreds of thousands of square feet that are not developed in the current zoning. And I think that's a big distinguishing factor here. It's not as if we're not saying you cannot build more than exists today, because there's hundreds and hundreds of thousands of unbuilt square footage FAR in the current zoning. So this is a matter of degree we're having a discussion about, not whether additional housing can be built on these campuses. Let's go to Christine next.
Yes, Joe. So on page 2, line 30 to 45, which is items that you have had highlight.
Yes.
It strikes me that those two things, and I'm in agreement with the two items, but it strikes me that they are more process than requirement. We are saying at the beginning, and it seems to me that I know we are not changing order, but for those it would be very valuable to put them at the end as a closure, to say and the community is so split.
On the substance, you have questions, you have comments on the substance, we can make it better, because we'll figure out the order subsequently, but the substance.
But when the substance is fine for me, it's really the placement. This thing, when I read it in the middle of that, felt that it was not at its place. It should be in a different place. That's all.
Going back in the room to Max and then to Carrie. Max. Oh, yeah, I've just got people who haven't spoken yet. Max. Oh, Charles, yeah. And then pass it to
I'm reading here in binding assurances on page 6, line 13 to 15. Clear accountability measures are necessary to protect public trust. I do think this is an opportunity for us to elaborate on who is providing the oversight, to identify who's going to do compliance, enforcement, and accountability, because that would be something I think that would protect the public trust.
Thank you. It is NYCHA and will note it. Max?
Hello, Max Goodstein. Joe, I hope you consider this friendly. I mean it in a friendly manner. I completely agree with the sentiment of this line on page 1, line 16. They are not development sites. They are people's homes. I don't think that's living a reality. Of course, the development sites. They're in the city of New York. Everything's a development site.
Sorry.
My house is. I can be torn down at any point. And there's also a DEIS written about this.
Do you have a
yes,
specific comment?
I do. So I would like to change the first 2 lines of this to say the Fulton, Elliott, Chelsea campuses are first and foremost people's homes. Stay with the sentiment. Any redevelopment must begin with that fact, and protect residents' dignity and stability above all else. I think by saying they are not development sites takes us out of the conversation completely. And it's basically.
I think they have to offer that as an amendment because that's not what the committee discussed. But thank you. And I got trying to figure it out. Marty, and then we'll go back online. I think it's Kerry is next.
This is an incredibly rich conversation. I want to bring it back to line 30, et cetera, on page 2, the vote issue.
Go ahead, Marty.
I believe that the vote issue is a straw person, that voting will defer our attention to something that is actually very difficult to do. If we do a vote, it would require anonymity. It would require careful construction of whatever the document is to word it appropriately so that when it comes back, it has some kind of meaning. It will take a lot of effort and a lot of time to do that. I believe that is a waste of our time because we know what the result of the vote will be, no matter how carefully it's put together. The vote will show that the community is divided on this issue. We know that already. So why waste our time on a vote? I suggest that the lines following 30 that talk about and suggest a vote and a few other places in this letter be moved entirely, and that we continue to focus on the other important issues that you folks have been talking about.
Maria wants to respond to that. I just want to note that there was a vote administered by NYCHA subsequent to this RFP at the Borough houses on the Lower East Side.
Argue whether that's true, whether it was a vote or a survey or.
No. At the Baruch houses on the Lower East Side, it was an actual vote. The council member was involved to make sure it happened, and there was a vote. And it was Jacob Reese houses, and it was conducted by a third party. So it's not something that has not been done by NYCHA.
The only thing I would say to that, Marty, is that almost
we lost you.
We lost Maria. I don't know if you all can hear us, but you are frozen on our side, completely frozen. No, we can't hear you. And the screen, now you're gone. Hi, Christine.
Hello.
Hi, everyone
Christine.
else.
Hi, Carrie.
Sorry,
Hi,
Jessica's texting.
Hi,
Okay.
Christine. Hi, Carrie.
Hi, David.
Hello.
Oh, no. And we have been disconnected. But it was going very well, I think, actually.
Yeah, it was. Very constructive.
Yeah. Hi, new folks who I haven't met yet. Well, Ellen, I met you at Chelsea Land Use. I'm trying to see who else is there. Brendan, I don't think we've met.
I don't think I've met Brendan either.
Hi, Mike Noble. It's very nice to see you as always. We're back.
Here he is. Here they are.
Okay.
So now we need the sound.
We can see you, but we can't hear you.
And
Oh,
you
now we can hear you.
Now you hear me?
Yes, ma'am.
All right. Thank you, Carrie. I was just responding to Marty's comment about subtly to me, and I don't think it was the intention, but to say that it's a waste of time for us if the tenants were to vote again, as if we're doing the lifting. We wouldn't be, but however, I think the tenants are the ones who are the most relevant here, right? And we have to lift their voices. And what we were told before was that there was a vote, right? And that wasn't accurate, and it wasn't done very well, and it wasn't very transparent with the information provided on the document. And I think if we put ourselves in the shoes of the tenants here and think about wherever we live, whether it's the London Terrace, the Park Vendome, Penn South, if we were in this situation, what would we want, right? And I think they are deserving of having a true, real vote. And I think that should remain in the letter.
So that'll be an amendment. Marty, other items?
No, I agree with what you said. The tenants' voices are absolutely necessary, but also we know that the result of the vote is going to be divided.
Right, but we don't know that until a vote happens. And we've heard both for and against saying we're the majority. And that's one of the problems we're in this a swamp. We're going to move on. I'm getting a move on from Jessica. Going to Carrie.
Thank you. Sorry, I would have done all this at once, but I thought we were kind of going point by point. So on page,
Do you have anything on the vote question? Because we're going to close that out.
I kind of do. I mean, it's related, but on
So we're going to
page
go to
two,
on the vote issue. We're going to go Carrie first, and then Katie to close it out, and then we can return back to Carrie.
oh, but I might be introducing a new topic. So do you want to skip me?
Yeah, can I come back then?
Yeah, of course.
Katie, this is the vote, right? On the vote?
The vote issue.
Yes, go
Yeah.
ahead.
So I am definitely speaking in favor of the letter, but we need clarity here on what we are proposing they are voting on. So I guess
Right. Well, see, okay, maybe we put in language to say that process, there's got to be a transparent process as to the subject of the vote. Because the problem is the last time it was not how it was laid out, it was not transparent at all.
I guess, but for us this evening, any community board member to vote on whether or not there should be a vote, it would be important for us to understand, like, are we?
What would you suggest?
I think we need to have to say that the parties should vote on basically the questions that were proposed in the survey.
The survey is not.
Basically, overall, what I do not believe, or I guess what I wouldn't support, so I need to know whether or not this is what we're proposing. What I wouldn't support is saying, do you vote in favor of tossing out the RFP or starting again, or I'm trying to understand what we are suggesting they vote on.
Let me just offer a thought, and I don't know if this is correct at all.
Yep.
That a vote should be, do you want renovation? Do you want renovation and selected demolition, or do you want demolition? Simple as that. I mean, I think that's something that should have been put out there to begin with.
Right.
People could have said, here's what we want.
And
does that sound kind of like?
Yes, except my understanding is that what people need in order to make an informed decision is what that means. Like, do you want renovation and it would take this many years and cost this much and it would get you this? Or do you want demolition? It would take this many years and it would cost this much and it would get you that. So there needs to be details.
But the problem is
that's what we're proposing. I think we just need to say in here, where we talk about a vote.
Three options with details. And time frame.
Yes. And I also think we need to frankly take out the word consensus, because we're suggesting that we want to get to consensus, and we're saying we want to have a vote. And if this is about a vote.
Right. And I also think there was some language said that if this happens, that it should be binding. Everyone should agree it should be binding.
Right. Okay. So if you can clarify that that will be put in here, that it will be what we're voting on would be helpful.
To just comment on this further, though, I actually think we need less detail.
Yeah.
I think we need to say that we ask that they work with the tenant leaders to develop a vote that is consistent with the discussions and the appropriate, it is not for us to decide what should be voted. It is for the tenant leadership and the tenants to decide. And because we're asking for tenant clarity. And so I think, and how that's determined, I'm not sure. And I also kind of agree that there may not even be consensus on that, which is a little bit of a connection to Marty's comment, but that doesn't mean we shouldn't ask for it.
So maybe we can just say a vote on the subject developed and vetted by the tenant associations. How does that sound?
Yeah.
No,
I mean, once to get to a place where we are.
Does that make sense to you, Katie?
By the tenant associations. Yeah.
Okay. So that gets us to a good
Clarity on what we're voting on. Yes.
Carrie.
So as I mentioned to you guys, my big concern, or one of my concerns, is the following point, which, yeah. Are we talking page 4, lines 37 to 44.
Thank you.
No,
I
that's
personally,
page 2.
Oh, sorry, page 2. You're right. It's board 4, page 2, line 37 to 44. Thanks, Katie.
Let me catch up to you, Carrie. Hold on.
Yeah, no, we were right there. Sorry.
Okay, got
it. Separate plans for each NYCHA campus. So this is where it's tied to the vote, right? But I personally think that we should not be separating the campuses. I really think that we already have so much division that we need to try to, I would strike this. I would actually recommend an amendment.
I think that sounds like an amendment then, because there was a lot of discussion in the room that the campuses can go different ways. Yeah. So I think we'll make that an amendment.
Yep. And then secondly, I just want to say on page 4, line 4, Roberta already brought this up, the selective demolition paragraph. I think that it is a language issue, and I would just really, instead of having to take an amendment on it, I would suggest that we change the language to, remove the word prioritize. You really just want consideration, as we have asked for from the get-go. So, which might, save some time tonight.
I think that's a little bit of a bridge too far. It should be in.
Okay.
Because again, that's the kind of thing we can just disagree on.
Yep. Okay. Thank you.
That concludes the major items of disagreement. I haven't had the most comments. We haven't heard from Inga.
I feel very strongly on page 2, section, the line 37 through 43. NYCHA and Chelsea Elliott are completely separate campuses. They should be voted on separately. Their representation has been separate, although some combined. They're blocks away. They're completely different. Thank you.
David Aloka.
Let's vote.
One very quick point. In the section that talks about the loss of multiple bedroom apartments for large families, I don't think we want it to be lost that the current plans would all lose 260 bedrooms, which is a permanent loss of capacity for future generations. I think that needs to be included perhaps as an addendum to that section.
Yes, I want to note again, the language about losing bedrooms is opaque to people. It's about the apartment sizes. The 4 and 5 bedrooms are the ones that would be lost. And that's the key issue here. The large scale apartments. Someone wrote me today saying, why would we fight for 5-bedroom apartments? I said, they're occupied. There's extended generational families in these 5-bedroom and 4-bedroom apartments.
I think you can do both and I think the loss of 260 bedrooms is a very important thing. It seems to have swayed some members of the board. Why would you leave it out?
Because I I think it muddies. Is that a friendly amendment? So David, let's do it as a footnote to further clarification.
Okay, and I also wanted to weigh in on the idea of increasing FAR. I did a presentation with Tom Lunke last year about the history of zoning in Chelsea, and we talked about the 197A plan and how that generally in the corridor between 9th and 10th Avenue, where there are a lot of historic buildings, reduced the FAR. For the most part, it cut it in half from 6 to 3. And the NYCHA campuses were carved out, I think probably because they were viewed as immune from speculation and development. And if we were to be asking for anything in terms of change in FAR, we'd be asking for a reduction in FAR. There's a huge amount of capacity under the current FAR. You could double the amount of square footage that's currently at Fulton. Elliott Chelsea's only built to 80%.
But Fulton is heavily underbuilt.
Right. But given the historic context and what was begun with the 197A plan way back in the 1980s, it was an initiative toward reducing bulk in this historically sensitive area. I think if we talk about increasing bulk, we're making ourselves look open to that. And even in NYCHA's non-rezoning scheme, they said that it was feasible without increasing the existing zoning. That's without even layering over the city of Yes. And that alternative actually provided more community space than their two rezoning options. So I think we want to stay entirely away from an increase in FAR.
I think we're pretty ready to move on to the amendments at this point. So let's take the first amendment, which is proposed. Carrie, are you going to propose an amendment about striking the separate plans?
I am. I'm going to propose that we strike on page 2, thanks Katie, lines 37 to 44. Yes.
Is there a second to that amendment? Is there a second to that amendment? Who said second? Oh, Katie. Okay. Well, I don't think there's anything.
Can I say why, Joe, for a minute?
Oh, sure.
Okay. Yeah. So in the survey itself, the original bad survey, they basically said that there would be no maintenance if there wasn't some kind of demolition. So let's just suppose that.
Hold on, Carrie. We've lost the projector.
Oh, that's okay. Can you hear me? I don't care if
I
you
know,
can
but
see me.
But we're working on it. We're in tech hell.
Okay, no problem.
You can still explain. There is no need for the projector.
I know you don't have to see me if you can hear me.
We can see and hear you now.
Great.
Go ahead, Carrie.
Sure. What I was saying is in the survey itself, there in the no demo renovation option, there was the implication that there would be no more, no maintenance by related for any units that like that scenario would be no maintenance, no fixing of your apartment, no nothing. So let's just say that Fulton votes for demolition and full, rebuilding, and Chelsea Elliott doesn't. What happens to the folks at Chelsea Elliott? Do they not get their apartments fixed anymore? Does NYCHA abandon them? Hold on, I'm not done. I'm just talking about like what it's like to split.
Right, I'm trying to answer just for your information, which happened recently. There's 500 units at Elliott Chelsea being converted to Rad Pact.
I know.
There will be work happening irrespective of full renovation. So that's an example of how these things get solved and figured out.
And when you take, when you split them, and I am very afraid of one half of a large portion of our community being left behind.
Okay.
And that doesn't mean that I mean demolition. I mean either way, like one portion. And when we say like it's split between Fulton and Elliott Chelsea, it isn't. It's split within each campus, nearly 50-50. So I just think that if we untie the campuses from each other, then we are putting one of those campuses at serious risk.
Problem is, without a vote, we don't know factually on this at all.
Well,
On the amendment.
that's why I said it's
On the
tied to the
amendment,
vote.
Katie.
Because if it's about the vote, then, if we are going for a vote, then we'll know much more clearly. But I don't want this on record that we're okay
Okay.
splitting the campuses.
Katie,
And just
on the amendment.
I guess the reason I seconded her motion is because I believe that the Chelsea Working Group and the original RFP, everything, all of that tenant involvement and the tenant associations back in the day all treated them as a single unit. And so that's why I support not coming out publicly saying that they should be separate. I'm not saying we oppose it. I'm just saying that we don't. I'm not quite sure if I'm echoing or what's going on here, but
Visiting hours are over.
got it. Okay. No more visiting hours. So anyway, I support it because that is how we got started here, was the
Got it.
two campuses coming together. Thanks.
Katie. Oh my God, Jessica.
I the to Carrie, who made the amendment, was, would you consider, I guess I don't know the technical, resubmitting your amendment instead of it being scratched, to have it be under the vote section, to say that pending the results of the vote, that they be open to accepting the possibility of developing separate sites, so that is contingent upon the results of the vote, as opposed to just separate, standing on its own. And would you consider that?
Carrie is thinking. Let it be noted for the record.
I'm thinking, thank you. I don't think that the community board, this whole thing is so divisive in the first place. Like, I suppose if the residents of the two campuses said, this is what we want, yes, I would support that.
Okay. All right. So then
And I would be very wary of splitting the projects.
Can you restate the amendment as noted?
So we take it out as a separate paragraph, and it is a bullet point under hold a vote on each campus paragraph that says, should the vote determine that there are, different opinions for each campus, or different, vote counts for each campus, that the possibility of developing separate plans for the campuses should be considered.
So therefore, let's call a vote on Carrie's amendment.
Yes.
A second by Katie on the amended amendment. All those in favor of the proposed amendment, please raise your hand.
Sorry, it's just for the board members.
Okay, so that amendment passes. Let's go to the, whoops. Sorry, I'm sorry, yes. Any folks, any members against the amendment? Put down your hands, please, if you had them up before on the screens.
So Christine's opposed?
Yes.
I don't have a mic.
Yes, she is.
Okay, and David is opposed.
And any P&E? President eligible?
Yeah,
Two.
P&E, and that's going to be true throughout these amendments, so just count me in as P&E.
We got you, Mike.
We got you, Mike.
We got you.
Good.
And
just for clarity, anybody abstaining? I got Hector.
Anybody abstaining?
Okay, thank you.
Okay, I'll be a better vote caller next time. Now, the amendment, Marty, you want to offer an amendment of striking the language on hold a vote?
Yeah. That's
right. I think you've agreed to keep the vote in, and I'm not willing to suggest, against the conversation I just heard, that the vote should be taken out. But I caution that paragraph for 30 on page 2 needs a thorough rewrite. This what we just passed depends on the outcome of a vote, and so therefore the vote will need to be constructed with great care, with lots of input, including professional input.
Let me give you the language that we agreed to, developed, vetted, and agreed to by the tenant associations. That was what we talked about.
Say it again, please, Joe.
Developed, vetted, and agreed to by both tenant associations.
No, that's not enough. You need a professional to.
No, not to do it, Marty. We're talking about the general assent as to what they're voting on. Yeah. That can be a friendly amendment. It's very easy to do.
But you should include in that the structure of the development needs to be vetted by professionals and it needs to be anonymous. That's something that we should insert. I believe, if we're going to do a vote. Anonymous is extremely important.
Marty, you cannot have, I think we're down into details that we really are, we're asking about concepts to be approved that will go through hopefully a good, solid, transparent process. Thank you for the information about bringing a third party in. Yes.
I want to agree with Marty on one thing, and can we just lose the last line then? Because then that will take into consideration of that paragraph, because that will take into consideration professionals, the economic, the environment, everything else. Because it's saying if we do a vote, right, and whatever the tenant says, that's what's going to be binding. And I think it's what Marty's saying, that there are a lot of other, I don't want to put words in your mouth, Marty. There are a lot of other elements that have to be considered in a humongous project like that. I don't know.
No. But at the end, if there's a vote, the vote is binding. That has to be binding.
The vote itself is binding, not
Yes.
the results of the vote. You mean not, we're going to do what they say.
Binding is, I hate to say,
unrelated.
It's binding on the whole process, Marty. If this is agreed to and a vote happens, then everyone has to agree. If the vote happens, then it has to be abided by. We can make it a little clearer, but I mean, that's a standard process. Okay, let's go to the next amendment.
Well, do we have a vote on this or not?
I'm sorry. Marty withdrew given the prior discussion.
Oh, okay.
Greg, help me.
Demo on
Yes.
Four?
Yes. Sorry.
And then I have the FAR and I'm the not.
Okay. So on the issue on page 4 to 6, elective demolition. Roberta, could you offer some specifics?
So my recommended language in this particular instance was to strike that section.
Okay.
And the reason for doing so here is that it in effect takes a particular preference on demolition or a position on demolition that is not necessarily what the tenants have put forth, and noting that there is a range of opinions that have come from the tenants who have come to the board. I do believe, so that is my amendment. If I would like to note, I do know that there are discussions or alternative language, and that might also be part of the.
So why don't we first go to the simple amendment, which is you would propose to delete lines on page 4 through 9.
Yes.
Is there a second on that? Second by Katie. All those in favor of deleting the lines about selective demolition on page 4 through 9, please raise your hand.
I mean,
Hands up, please.
I don't.
Oh, we're getting
Hands up.
votes. We're getting a vote.
Thank you. 1, 2.
All those opposed to removing that section.
Hands up. You guys are slow here. It's all right. 1, 2, 3, 6, 7. No, 20 no's.
20 no's. All those abstaining. All those present not eligible. Okay, so the section stays in. Yes. A friendly, well, an amendment, Paul, at this point.
Bye.
Yeah, it's a good idea.
I just add on that section, there was a conversation earlier about the transparency of financing, and there's a lot of language there about what's viable, not viable. I just want to make sure that we include finance structures.
That's in our notes.
Yeah, but let's add that in stronger in this section.
At that note, at the location. Katie, is there another amendment?
This is an amendment on the same section. I propose that this is again on page 4, lines 4 through 9. I propose that the line 4 reads as follows: selective demolition should be prioritized over full campus demolition, period. So that would be taking out the words unless proven non-viable. And then I'll explain it in just a second. And then the second, or the
Please, let her finish.
Those, let's see, so it's line 8 would read right now, or I propose that it stops after the word, well, I propose that it would read, full demolition should only proceed if retaining most existing housing stock is infeasible. So that would be deleting the words conclusively shown to be. So again, I'm proposing to remove the words unless proven non-viable and removing the words conclusively shown to be, because saying unless proven non-viable, do we mean technically? Do we mean economically? Who decides if it's, who are we proving it to? Are we getting a court involved or a panel of architects or a panel of economists? It doesn't make any sense. And so.
Okay, I think I will just note for a moment.
Yep.
It's very specific and we don't know some of these answers. And that's why some of the language is a little broader, because it could be financially not viable. It could be physically non-viable. And the problem is we're not in a position completely conclusively to say it's X, Y, or Z. And that's why we put it out there to say, prove it. Right?
Which is why I'm suggesting should, and then just leaving it so that we're not suggesting that there's any way to prove non-viability without any standards here. So anyway, do I have a second for that?
I second Katie's, because she's removing this language that is going to give them wiggle room for more that's what, for more demolition. We're trying to eliminate that wiggle room, and your language is giving them, is that correct?
No,
the reverse.
No, it's saying she's saying, this is the line, selective demolition must be prioritized over full, right? But says now, must be prioritized over full campus demolition unless proven non-viable. She's saying that's very, they could say anything is non-viable. So we're gonna prioritize full demolition. So she's saying remove that, saying we're just saying selective demolition should be prioritized over full campus demolition, period. Which I think is what everyone agrees with. That's what everyone's been.
Okay, let's people speaking to this. Shanice.
No, it's not. The mic's not on.
Not on.
Check. I hear what you're saying, Katie. I guess my thought to that is, if we're again asking for a vote, then that means that only full demolition would be an option on the vote, or demolition then we would say selective demolition must be prioritized. We can't in the letter say selection demolition must be prioritized, but then also call for a vote from the tenants. I don't think that makes sense.
Viren?
Just a very quick sort of note. I mean, what Katie is trying to say is that you're inviting them to come back to you and show them it's not viable. You understand? So why invite that trouble? If you really want selective demolition to be prioritized, just leave it at that. I think I completely agree with you, because then you are sort of leaving out the possibility of them coming back and say, oh, financially it's not viable. Physically it's not viable. X, Y, and Z, Y is not viable.
But Shanice's issue is, if there's a tenant association that, for whatever reason, votes for full demolition, irrespective of the viability, we're hoping that they will be respected of what they want. Right? I mean, we can qualify that to say, maybe that's the way to go, unless we refer back to the vote stuff. Is that the way to go, Katie? To reconcile it? That we would refer back to the tenant vote unless chosen by a tenant association.
Well, I mean, Shanice is right. This is in a way taking away from what, if the tenants vote for full demolition, let them have full demolition.
That's what she's.
Yes.
That's what she's
So you're right. We have to say something here. Like, if the tenants vote for full demolition, God bless, go do whatever they voted for.
Let me just do a qualification.
Okay.
I think I'm hearing both pieces of this.
Yep.
And I think I understand it without an amendment that it's sort of,
Okay.
you want to just qualify it, right? Is that the way to go? It's not really an amendment, it's just to qualify it. Back to the vote. Right.
Very quickly, you're putting too much on vote part. If they actually refuse to do vote, what happens? So if they accept everything else and no voting is actually accepted, if NYCHA and developer team comes back and says, okay, X, Y, and Z is fine, but there will be no vote.
So maybe actually to that point, maybe to wrap this all up, it could say, if there is going to be demolition, comma, selective demolition should be prioritized over full campus demolition. And then have the language below it.
No,
Because
I think you guys
vote and then.
I think let me just put this out there. I think if we qualify it, saying it's subject to the tenant vote, and if there is no vote, the viability is the big issue because we don't want to just be bulldozed over, correct?
Yes.
Okay.
Yes, except I still think if there is no vote, we should still remove the language unless proven non-viable.
I understand.
Okay.
So that will be I think the other parts we clarified among ourselves.
Okay.
So your amendment is solely about now just removing unless proven non-viable. Is that correct?
Yes, and then the related language below it, conclusively shown to be.
Okay.
Yes.
Good. So is there a second to that amendment after we've put in the information? Guess what? You have to have a microphone.
Is it all?
Thank you.
I do karaoke all the time.
So point of information before we move on to the vote on this. So understanding that the ambiguity who determines viability is currently an unknown for us. Is it possible to guess from all the expertise we have in this room, like who that entity might be? Like, can we put something even vague to kind of hypothesize what that might be based on prior projects that we've seen?
Just to note.
Yeah.
This is the unique project of NYCHA in the city of New York. There are 13,000 apartments either renovated or under renovation today with no demolition happening. So it's a political decision that will be made. The applicant.
Okay, so.
Applicant, yes.
Okay, I'll let you guys entertain the amendment first because.
I want to second the motion.
Second the motion by Christine, the amendment.
Yeah.
So on the amendment, which is after, we will have the qualification, the vote and subject to, or if there's no vote, that's going to be in.
Right.
But the amendment will be to delete in line 4 unless proven non-viable, and then in line 8 that retaining most housing stock delete is conclusively shown to be infeasible. Conclusively shown. So on that amendment as proposed by Katie, all those in favor, please raise your hand.
Please.
All those opposed, please raise your hand.
$11 no's.
All abstaining? One abstention, two abstentions, and then two P&Es. It passes. Okay. Greg, the next-
Last one. No, we have the building scale and mass scale. Sorry, yes. Okay, I don't have a page on my, I have a patch on it. I think I was.
Yeah. Microphone would
Give me
probably.
page and line
Yep,
numbers.
so it's page 5.
Mm-hmm.
It is lines 9 through 11.
Okay.
And so it would propose striking that sentence and to say, to the extent it is feasible to
Striking which sentence? The whole paragraph?
well, not the whole paragraph, because there are 2 sentences in the paragraph. There's the first sentence and there's the second sentence. 9 to 11 is the first sentence, and it would propose striking that and replacing it with language that is effectively, to the extent it is feasible to preserve residential floor area and bedrooms for NYCHA residents, the project should seek to limit overall bulk, which is to say not a specific FAR, but to say that the project should limit FAR to the extent it is feasible while meeting all of the other very important demands, including, relating to bedrooms, floor area, green space, et cetera, et cetera.
Is there a second on that amendment? Second. Okay. Any discussion on the amendment? Okay. So specifically, I'm sorry. Sanford? On the amendment? Proposed amendment?
Sorry, I just left my hand up from last
Oh,
time. My
okay.
bad.
Christine, are you wanting to speak, or is your hand up from before?
No, that's, I have a question to Roberta, is that if we are saying that, are we saying that we want to limit, including for the market, market?
It's for the overall project. The intent is not to change the intent of that sentence, just to not explicitly state the preferred FAR. So just to say that to limit FAR should be a goal.
So we have a clear binary choice. Roberta's amendment is to limit the FAR versus the FAR stays as is. All those in favor?
I was just going to say, let's not close our negotiating abilities or during ULURP. And so, yeah, I don't think we should come out pre-ULURP and state something that we're not willing to consider, but we should take out the specifics here and just be clear that
You're supporting the amendment.
I'm supporting the amendment.
Okay. All those in favor of the amendment, which takes out the limitation on FAR to the existing, and it says instead we should seek to limit the FAR. All those in favor of that amendment?
Keep them up, please. Thank you. 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18, 19, 20, 21, 22, 23, 24, 25, 26, 27, 28, 29, 30, 31, 32, 33, 34, 35, 36, 37, 38, 39, 40, 41, 42, 43, 44, 45, 46, 47, 48, 49, 50, 51, 52, 53, 54, 55, 56, 57, 58, 59, 60, 61, 62, 63, 64, 65, 66, 67, 68, 69, 70, 71, 72, 73, 74, 75, 76, 77, 78, 79, 80, 81, 82, 83, 84, 85, 86, 87, 88, 89, 90, 91, 92, 93, 94, 95, 96, 97, 98, 99, 100, 101, 102, 103, 104, 105, 106, 107, 108, 109, 110, 111, 112, 113, 114, 115, 116, 117, 118, 119, 120, 121, 122, 123, 124, 125, 126, 127, 128, 129, Oh, wait, sorry. I did not count on line. I have to count on line. I mean, put them down.
All those in favor, can you please, in the room, you have it already?
No, online. I just.
All those online.
In favor of the amendment. That's 1, 2, 3, 4. Okay.
All those opposed to the amendment.
Opposed.
All those abstaining. All those present and eligible, 2. Are there the first page?
Yeah, the Max's recommendation for that line.
Sorry,
I'm
what
not-
was the,
What's the outcome?
yeah, what was?
Sure, the outcome for,
The amendment passes.
Okay,
yeah,
thank
24 to
you.
13.
Max.
Okay.
Max Goodstein. My amendment is to reword the second sentence of this letter. Line 11, the title of this letter is Future of the Fulton Elliott Chelsea Development. 5 lines down, it says they are not development sites. They are people's homes. That is not mutually exclusive. They could both be true. And they are both development sites and people's homes. And by saying they are not development sites, I think that makes it read like we don't want anything to happen here. And I think that's the wrong intent of this letter.
What is your proposal?
To not say they are not development sites, to basically say they are people's homes, and we have to respect that, but they are also development sites. We recognize that. I don't know the exact wording.
But if the hardest time thinking that you can say that people's homes, this is.
As a friendly to that, I don't think we need to, we can, if I may, and if you want to, it will be your proposal, not mine, but I think we can focus on the fact that we don't need to acknowledge that they are or are not development sites, rather that they are people's homes.
Yes, exactly. That's
So-
exactly it. Perfect.
I'm sorry.
Okay,
That's okay.
but
That's fine.
but I just wanted to
Just
he
given-
had-
let's
what he had said was
Yeah, I did. I just don't think this is reality. They are development. We get it.
specific, Max. We want to hear. We need specific language for
All
folks.
right, my language. My language. I wrote it down. I'm sorry.
If you want, we could even just
All right.
propose
Read
striking.
the first
Yep.
2 lines. This is what I wrote down. The faulted Elliott Chelsea campuses are first and foremost people's homes. Any development must begin with that fact and protect residents' dignity and stability above all else.
Okay, is there a second to that amendment? Second?
Multiple
Okay.
seconds.
So,
It's been seconded.
Yep.
And I just want to note, as Maria said earlier, if this read that Penn South campuses are home to communities that deserve it, respect, dignity, safe, and maintained housing, they are not development sites. Most people in Penn South would agree. And I really feel we have a class issue happening here. And I'm very concerned about this.
Joe, with all due respect, I think that's conflating the 2 issues.
I know it's not. I know it's not.
That's conflating it.
There's a second, and I'm going to call a vote.
Joe,
And
we
it's not a matter of respect.
we had construction. I live next to Penn South. We had construction for 2 years in Penn South, so that's not true.
No, you didn't have demolition and construction in Penn South.
We have both.
About a second, we're going to move it on.
Yes, I can. My proposed language.
No, he read it. He read it.
I'm sorry.
Read it one more time.
The faulted Elliott Chelsea campuses are first and foremost people's homes. Any development must begin with that fact and protect residents' dignity and stability above all else.
Okay, that's the amendment. All those in favor of the amendment?
Yeah, we had
Yes.
seconds. Hands up if you support the amendment that Max just read.
sorry, it will continue. These campuses are a significant
Yes.
part of the Chelsea
Yes.
neighborhood. It will just
Yeah,
continue. as-
everything stays the same after that.
Hands up, please. Thank you. Max, I'm assuming you're supporting this, so can you put?
I have to do P&E on the letter.
Got it. 1, 2. Four, 6, 7, 20, 1, 4, 5.
25. All those opposed?
Eleven opposed.
All those P&E? 1, 2, 3, 4. Oh, three. All those abstaining?
Wait, can I go back?
What?
1 second. Max, are you for every vote on this?
Yes.
Okay.
Sorry, it's 3 P&Es, not 2 P&Es every vote.
We're done with
Okay.
amendments.
We have done all the amendments. So now, on the letter as amended through the amendments incorporated therein, all those in favor of the amended, oh, no, it's not a second. It's all right. Right. It's a thing.
Done.
Sorry. Oh, all right. Of course. First of all, thank you, everybody. As possible during this. It was brutal. Thank you.
Got one. Yep. Okay, so as a quick reminder to everybody, the way this works is I'm going to read out names alphabetically by last name. I'm going to ask for your vote. I'm going to then repeat what you say to make sure that we have everybody. Say it again. I'm going to repeat their names too, is what I'm being told. Yes, indeed. Okay. So Ted Arenas. Yes to all. Roberta. Okay, 1 through 21 is a yes and no on 22. Thank you. Christine Bertay.
Yes to all.
Hold on. Oh, hold on. We're revising. So Roberta, am I correct? Okay, so you are no on 21 and yes 1 to 20. Got it? Okay, Christine Bertay.
Yes to all.
Yes to all. Leslie Boghosian Murphy. Yes to all. Liam Buckley. No on 21, yes to the rest. Kevin. Yes to all. Lisa. Oh, didn't I say that? Oh, didn't I? Oh, Kevin Collins. What did you say?
Yeah.
Okay, sorry. Yes to all. Lisa David, are you here? No. Marty. Yes to all except no on 4, Marty. Okay. Paul Devlin. Paul Devlin says yes to all. Pete Diaz. Pete is not. Oh, he's right there. Hello. Pete Diaz says yes to all. Jeff Gardner. Not here. Thomas Garza. No on 21, says Jeff. No, I'm putting it in the wrong place. Sorry. It says Thomas Garza and yes to the rest. Okay, Wendy Gonzalez. Wendy Gonzalez says yes to all. Yeah, looks like it. Oh, that's why you were waving your hand, Viren. You're not on my list for some reason.
Sorry, Darren.
This must be an old list. So Viren, hold on a second. I'm going to add you. Hold on a second. Okay, hold on. So hold on. Wendy, you said yes to all. Wendy Gonzalez said yes to all. Okay. Viren, how do you vote? Yes to all. Viren Brombet, hold on. Okay, thank you. Max Goodstein. Annie on 21, yes to the rest. Matt Green. Abstain on 21, yes to the rest. Jesse Greenwald. No on 21, yes to the rest. Hold on a second. Okay, Candace. No, hold on. Nope, never mind. Not Candace. This is an old list. Aaron Hoffman is yes to all. David Haluka. Yes to all, says David Haluka. Frank says yes to all. Josephine Ishman. Yes to all, says Josephine. Inga. Yes to all. Carrie Keenan.
Yes to all.
Yes to all, says Carrie. Ella is not here. Matthew Klein. Yes, 1, 2 through 20, says Matthew, and no to 21. Okay. Is Chris LeBron here? No. Rachel Lee. Yes to all, says Rachel Lee. James. It's James. No, not here. Ellen Markman.
No on 21, yes to all the rest.
No on 21, yes to the rest. Thank you. Says Ellen. Brendan. Is Brendan here?
Yeah, sorry about that.
Okay.
Yes to everything except for 21, no.
21, no. Yes to everything else, says Brendan. Sanford.
No to 21, yes to the rest.
No to 21, yes to the rest. Shanice Mitchell. Oh, yeah, there she is bragging over there. Yes to all and submitted. She wins an award. Charles. Yes to all, says Charles. Thank you. Greg. Yes to all, says Greg. Tina Nelson. Not here. Mike Noble.
P&E on 21, yes to the rest, and submitted.
Oh, well done, Mike. And P&E on 21, you said. Okay.
Yeah.
JD. Yes to all, says JD. Maria, where'd you go? Yes to all, says Maria. Thank you. Alan. Yes to, there he is. Yes to all, says Alan. Brad.
Yes to 1 through 20, no on 21.
1 through 20, yes, and no on 21, says Brad. All right, Joe. Yes to all, says Joe. Dolores, I don't think was here. Not here, okay. Katie? Not here. That was Katie Savage, not myself. I'm not talking to myself. Brian? No on 21, yes to the rest. Let's see. Oh, myself, and I am talking to myself now. Yes to all. Okay, Hector.
P&E on 21, yes to the rest. And
P&E on 21, yes to the rest and submitted. Oh, Hector's showing off as well. David Warren.
Yay to all and submitted.
Wow. Yay to all and submitted. Very impressive. Wait, David, no, never mind. Were you one of the P&Es?
Why would I be P&E?
Sorry, I'm all confused. No, just me. Okay, so you said yes to all. Okay, Rodney is here. Oh, well done, Rodney. Yes to all. And Alice. Yes to all. Okay, and then last but not least is Jessica. Jessica Chait is yes to all. And is there anybody else I forgot? Raise your hand if I forgot you. All right. Okay, I think we're done.
All right. Thank you, everybody. Can I get a adjourn? All second. Thank you, Roberta. Everyone have a great night. Thanks for